if I do.
Covino and Rich.
Are you ready? Honestly, how do I deal with you every day?
Get ready.
You've heard all about it on the radio.
Whoa! Yeah!
Holy mother nugget! And holy mother meatball!
I'm the smartest man alive! You're so ridiculous. What? You're such a fool. Get out of here.
Oh, I'm a disc jockey.
What's a disc jockey?
Here we go. Covino and Rich.
Let's go!
Yo, that whole day off after the Super Bowl? When did we start that petition? Today?
They used that today, yeah. But,
Today, can we start that petition?
but we're happy to see you.
Hey!
Happy Valentine's, puppy.
Happy Valentine's, puppy.
Papa!
Happy Valentine's.
puppy.
Yeah, it's Covino and Rich on a Monday that should be a
Day off for
day off.
everybody.
A sleep-in day. But it's Valentine's Day. We love you like brother love.
Let me tell you, a lot of people took off today because I cruised here.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
I love you.
I love you. It's Covino and Rich
Happy
and Spot.
Valentine's, puppy.
Happy Valentine's, puppy is right. And we be rocking out. Let's go.
Happy Valentine's, puppy.
Rocking out on a
Happy Valentine's, puppy.
Yeah,
Happy Valentine's, puppy.
And like I always said,
Happy Valentine's, puppy.
you want to get her to bend over.
Whoa.
Present the Russell Stover. I've always said that. Little wine in Russell Stover. Little wine in Russell
We should
Stover.
take a little emotional break for that today.
Little
think so?
wine in
Oh, I
Russell
wanna-
Stover.
I want to know what that is. The emotion in your voice in that song is fantastic.
Little wine in Russell Stover. That'll do the trick tonight. Some gas station flowers. Bring the romance. So, Lance Romance, Rich Davis, Steve Covino. It's the show. Spotty's here on the phones. Phones are always up. 412, the letter C in our show. It's our text and our phone number. 412-267-7469. Hope you had a great weekend. Hope you enjoyed the Super Bowl. Hope you had an LA Rams house sort of weekend.
Cooper Cup.
Cooper Cup sort of weekend.
Buttercup. Woo.
Smooth like butter.
Buttercup.
Yeah. My little Cooper Cup has the sweetest smile. Cooper
My
Cup.
little Cooper Cup.
Come and stay a while. Cooper Cup with the big game did things
Come
that
with me.
only a few people have done.
Yeah,
and he got the
did,
MVP.
He did in what season was a feat that only Jerry Rice had done in his career, which was Super Bowl MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, and the Triple Crown as far as a receiver goes, yards, receptions, and touchdowns. So
It was an amazing feat.
Cup.
Amazing
Yard.
feat until I saw Rich's on the cover of the New York Post for no reason at all.
Or mine right now.
Yeah.
What's up?
Yeah. Until I saw Rich with flip-flops on the New York Post.
Right.
So, Covino and Rich, sports, entertainment, and life. Let the wild Valentine's rumpus begin.
And we said it last night.
Happy Valentine's, puppy.
I'll say it again. We had a fun Fox Sports Radio show late last night.
Late. If you
It was
missed
fun.
it,
No, it was an easy one. It was fun.
it's good for your drive later on. FoxSportsRadio.com.
Late.
But the big takeaway was just because a game is close
Late.
doesn't mean it was a great game. And the teams lack the top tier excitement.
Look at those feet.
Amazing feat. Cooper Cup or yours?
Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers or, as
toes.
you said on Fox like a week ago. Yeah, these teams battled to get there, but if it were like any other sport where it was like best of 7, these are not the two, quote, best teams, but you know what? I guess you got to call them that because they got there. Rams won the Super Bowl, and they were just a victim of the greatest playoffs ever. The analogy you made on Fox Sports last night, make it again because it was a great one. It had to do with Rage Against the Machine. It's a great analogy.
Rage Against the Machine perform at Jones Beach, Long Island. It's the greatest show these eyes have ever seen. I was like, there's no way anything could ever top that performance. We were exhausted from watching. Rage was insane. And then Limp Bizkit was up next. And we're like, how in the world could Limp Bizkit possibly follow up what just seemed to be the greatest performance of all time? And they did a great job, but it still didn't compare to Rage. And that's
So,
like the playoffs.
yeah.
The playoffs the past few weeks, especially last 2 weeks ago, let's say last week, was some of the most insane, intense games we've ever seen.
No doubt.
So how do you top that? Top that.
No.
Top that.
I don't really give
Hard.
a
Top
about
that.
trying to top that.
It's kind of hard to top that. And although it was a close game, unless you had a horse in the race, we made this point last night. Unless you had a horse in the race, the socializing took precedence of the night, and that's indicative of the game.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Joe Burr, being a cool young player, and Matthew Stafford, all those years in Detroit, finally gets his opportunity. There were storylines. Again, it just wasn't the superstars of the NFL. So, yeah, there's something felt a little lackluster. And
That's a motivating storyline, though.
Yeah,
the fact that a different setting, a new place, could be a new start, and you were great all along. You were just in the wrong situation.
Yeah,
a la Stafford.
It was
Not every movie can star Julie Roberts.
exactly, Spot. And there's three sides to every
I
story.
don't know why I chose Julie Roberts.
And
but you
there's
get the point.
there's three sides to every game. If you're a fan of the winning team, if you're a fan of the losing team, and then the rest of the general public. And I think if you're a Bengals fan, you're probably pretty devastated and heartbroken, which you should be, because it's not easy to get there. And I promise you probably won't get back that often if you ever do again.
You know what? Here's where I disagree. I know it's extremely tough to get there. Ask Dan Marino, right?
Yeah, I said Dan Marino
But
got
I
to the
think
Super
Joe
Bowl.
Burrow's the guy. I really do.
Dan Marino got to the Super Bowl in his second season. He was the MVP, and guess what he did for the rest of his career? Put up huge numbers, was a superstar, but never got back to the Super Bowl. It's not easy, especially, bro.
Superstar.
Especially when even Spot, who doesn't give a shit, knows all the AFC quarterbacks that are now in the mix. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert. All these guys are going to be in his way every year.
Patrick Mahomes here. I got to be honest, watching that game, it was really fun to see all the festivities, and it takes me back to my Super Bowl experiences. But I was sitting there thinking the whole time we should be there, and we were the team to be, and we're better than both teams that played last night. Just my humble opinion, and my wife agrees, and so does my brother.
So I guarantee you Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady and maybe even the 49ers were thinking, damn, we were better than those teams.
Yeah,
But they didn't
49er
get
fans,
there.
I'll tell you what, no 49er fans were thinking the whole time. I'll tell you what we were thinking. We were thinking, yo, man, we were winning in the fourth quarter. We had a 10-point lead over the Rams, should have won that game, and then you watched Cincinnati not really do much of anything yesterday. So Niners fans were thinking, yo, we blew that game. That interception Tart dropped. Fans start thinking that. Buffalo and Kansas City are thinking, yo, a few weeks ago we had the greatest game ever. Both of those teams, I think, are better than the Bengals to represent the AFC, but the Bengals got hot and they won, so you can't take that away. You can't take it away. You can't be like a what if, shoulda, coulda. That's bullshit, but I think that was part of the vibe too, where it was like, oh, Bengals, Rams. No one in the room cares for either team. Socializing takes precedence.
Yeah. I was hearing more about Rich's softball league from his softball buddies than I was from Chris Collinsworth last night. But that's a whole other story we discussed last night on Fox Sports Radio.
Well,
.com. But congratulations. On
Again,
a positive.
yeah.
Congrats.
they were just
the
they were
Rams.
just victims. They were just victims of the greatest postseason ever. So no matter what, that game was not going to rank or match up to the playoffs the same way Limp Bizkit did not match up to Rage Against the Machine for you. The end.
Yeah. Rams 23, Bengals 20. OBJ showing his value. Came up big. He was having a game before he got hurt. Joe Burrow showing he was tough. He got hurt, holding his knee, but still played, still performed. And, of course, there was halftime, which was also great. But we were very nitpicky in our discussion last night because that's what we do.
Yeah.
I said a little too much Mary J. Blige, a little too much 50 Cent. Him hanging down was the most viral clip of the night. Him hanging upside down was the big takeaway, and Snoop Dogg's mad about it. He's like, that's what you get out of all this whole performance? All you care about is 50 Cent? Not so 50 Cent upside down? Yeah. Not so 50 Cent. You can find me in the club, bottle full of bub.
I feel like I'm rewatching it.
Yeah.
And as the memes went wild, he's now 75 cent, put on a couple pounds, inflation. I mean, who hasn't?
I'm glad he made his cameo. I'm just saying it was a little long, which took away from more Eminem, more Nothing But a G thing. So there could have been more.
Yeah.
If it left you wanting more, then it was a great halftime show because
course.
we wanted more.
Of course. And the reality is they're limited on time. So no matter what they did, someone was going to say, hold up. I wanted that. I wanted that. They did that too much. I thought it was a solid halftime show. You're right, Covino. With 13 minutes, they're given 13 minutes, right? 12 to 13 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you could get nitpicky, but the reality is it's really fun 13 minutes. I enjoyed every second of it.
I don't know why. I could have done without Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, you know what?
I feel like I wanted
new school, so like I feel like he
I wanted
interrupted the
more-
old school tribute.
Yeah, like I feel like Eminem, if anything, was the person that bridged the gap between the old school and new school. You didn't need Kendrick.
He's 50 years old.
You didn't need Kendrick Lamar to bridge the gap between the newer school and the newest school.
I think you do.
I
Even though
I
I
wanted
don't
more
think he did.
old.
I don't think
I
anyone.
don't think he did.
I think yeah. Of course, Kendrick
Nostalgia
Lamar.
is king in this today.
Kendrick Lamar is a huge player in the music game now, but based on that last night, 50 comes out.
he's in the
Eminem,
Dr. Dre camp, dude.
Snoop. I know, but it's like
No, you
based on the dynamic of that performance last night, you could have kept it all old school. If you took out Kendrick Lamar and added Nothing But a G Thing and one more Eminem song, I think people would have been like, yeah, that's better.
Yeah. I'm not saying
Kendrick Lamar was not bad. I just
No,
saying
his
for a
performance.
younger audience.
His performance was great.
Yeah.
I like that. I don't
You're
want
the
to.
NFL, you're trying to attract younger fans. As all the old people die off and all the old people wearing Nike Monarchs complain about the halftime show, they're going to be dead in a few years. They're trying
agreed?
to get young people
No,
to tune in.
Covino, agreed. But Kendrick Lamar, yes, the LA tie-in, the Compton tie-in, the aftermath. All the tie-ins make sense for Kendrick Lamar. However, Cove,
And I know EJ Reed. He's been around for 10 years. Yeah, we know that. But like 10 years ago was 2010.
I disagree.
M's been around since the late
90,
90s.
98, 99. And Covino, I know you're saying bridge a gap to the younger generation, but look at social media, which you would say is indicative of younger people.
Social media hates everything.
No one was talking about Kendrick Lamar. They were talking about they wanted more Eminem, Snoop Dogg, how he's still got how I've never seen a senior citizen grandpa
Do the crip walk?
have the complete
Who does a better crip walk, Jamie from Boston or Snoop Dogg?
Snoop Dogg, I think, yeah.
Yeah, I think Snoop.
But I mean, I've never seen someone having so much fun. It's a grandpa, Snoop Dogg up there. But I don't think anyone on social media was like Kendrick Lamar added a lot to that performance. Just because he is great, but it was almost all right, let's break out some legends so they can play their biggest hits. And then Kendrick Lamar thrown in there. I don't know.
I mean, he didn't blow up this guy's skirt. But again, young people love him, and he's part of that camp.
Well,
50 Cent was the big takeaway. He was upside down because he was upside down in his video, but still it threw us off. We're like, wait a second, what's going on?
And if you're wondering why so much Mary J., I'll tell you why. A song and a half. Spot and I both agreed that she could have done Family Affair, and they could have cut out that 30 seconds of no more drama.
Save the drama for your mama.
But
I ain't had time for that.
every woman that was here at our Super Bowl party was loving Mary J. It was the women
You know
love
what I
Mary
was
J.
thinking? Sorry to sound sexist. Fuck out of here. One song was enough. Fuck out of here.
Every woman spot did every woman
That's how I
was
felt.
like Mary J.
That's how I felt. Not
Yeah,
gonna lie.
of course. They were
I mean,
like,
she's
oh,
They
legend.
love
but-
Mary J, bro.
Yeah, I love her, but she had too long of a time. I loved everybody there, but they had to mix it up a little more. I want Nothing But a G Thing. We wanted the Tupac hologram, and all we got was an upside down 50 Cent. So, but either way, it was great. It was one of the best. We ranked it top 5 in the past 10 years easily.
I don't know about easily, because the more you start going back in time, you realize Bruno Mars was great.
Yeah, he's also top 5.
Lady
Probably
Gaga
number
was
1.
great.
Lady Gaga was good.
Katy Perry was great.
Katy Perry was not great. The Sharks stole the headlines.
And then if you go back-
the Sharks steal the show, she was not that great.
Shakira and J-Lo were great. Beyonce
No,
was great.
They started the pandemic. They were not that great.
If you go back even a little more, Prince.
That's 2007.
Spot would probably argue Coldplay.
Said 10
it's-
years. Coldplay.
I wouldn't actually. I personally enjoyed Coldplay,
is weak.
but they
for a
didn't
Super
leave
Bowl.
any sort of impression on me.
For
As
Super
far
Bowl?
as they didn't do anything.
They're great.
They didn't move the needle for me.
And the other big question I thought, forget the halftime show, the beginning of the game, The Rock doing the announcement, corny or awesome?
Cool.
Cool?
Yeah, real cool.
I'm not
What's
going
up,
to argue it.
baseline Trey? Prince was 2007. I said 10 years ago. Think about it. That's like 15 years ago. So,
Yeah.
Or it
Prince,
is 15 years ago.
legend. Can't take away from the legends, from the legendary performances. Michael Jackson's was big. Prince, Bruno Mars, we mentioned that.
Yeah.
Is what we saw yesterday up there. It's top 5 in the past 10 years. It was good. It wasn't great.
As far
it
as
was good.
as far as crowd,
Shakira's like little. Remember that little tongue thing? She started the pandemic with that.
That was it.
there was the stat we read
Stirred up some shit.
yesterday that said the most viewed Super Bowl halftime show ever, with almost 120 million people tuned in, was Katy Perry. Katy Perry was the biggest halftime show by ratings.
But did it have
There-
anything to do with what was the game that year? I forget.
Look it up, actually. I don't know. I think it might have just been, maybe it was the game spot, but Katy Perry, number one, and the most internationally viewed Super Bowl halftime show.
That was
Not by Nielsen ratings or anything. It was by YouTube and streams and everything, was J-Lo and Shakira.
XLIX.
International fame. Internationally known to rock the microphone.
Lenny and Missy Elliott came out.
The Katy Perry one.
That
who,
was
who played the game.
Patriots Seahawks.
It was that. Those are two marquee teams, but there's no reason that should be the most watched. So, Tom Brady.
Telling you.
Russell Wilson.
I smell Metallica in Arizona next year.
This Lenny Kravitz.
Oh, Arizona. What does represent Arizona?
I don't know.
Is there any?
You mean band wise?
I'm saying, like, is there a tie-in where,
like cactuses.
like, if it was like Detroit, you'd be like, oh, Motown, L.A., old school rap. Like, is there an Arizona? Like, if they did a Super Bowl in Seattle, you would try to break out some 90s rock or some shit.
Like Mexican cowboys.
Ooh. Maybe
Hey,
some
dude,
mariachis.
Elvis Crespo is going to
Elvis
sing Hey,
Crespo.
Dude.
Yeah, that'd be
Hey,
cool.
dude.
That'd be cool.
Hey, dude.
So anyway, not here to be old guys wearing Nike Monarchs. It was great. It was cool. I enjoyed it. Those songs were the soundtrack to our lives. As I always say, as I get older, these songs mean so much. They mean so much. And they hit you different. And it was cool to see it on a big stage last night.
Hey, dude. You know what I always find funny?
Welcome to Super Bowl, Arizona.
Hey, 57.
Honestly, this would be a great halftime show. Imagine what the dudes wearing New Balances would have to say about this show.
Hey, dude. Hey, dude. You know, it's you're never gonna please everyone, and I think for the most part we could all agree it was good last night. It was really good.
It was really good.
Oh, know what I hate? I hate when I read feedback.
I just wanted more. That's my complaint is I wanted
and
more.
you know what?
They could have performed for 2 hours straight.
And you know what? And I'm not saying that was a reflection of the game, but it was like, 13-10 at halftime, I think. The game was solid. It was close, but as I pointed out yesterday, a close game doesn't mean it was a good game. There was no huge explosive plays. There was one or two big plays downfield. So I think at halftime, no one was even, I bet you if you asked everyone in the room, hey, what's the score? They'd have been like, I don't know. They were honed in. You're right. The Super Bowl halftime show could have been an hour-long performance, and no one would have been like, yeah, let's get the game back on.
By the way, for music rights, we can't really play the audio from the halftime show, so this is the best I can do.
You better lose yourself in the music the moment you own it. You better never let it go. One shot, do not miss your chance to blow.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
That was Jodie Foster.
Jodie Foster.
Jodie Foster giving a commencement speech.
One of my most awkward favorite clips of all time. I don't like
This
when-
opportunity comes once in a lifetime.
I don't know why I cut off
This
that part.
opportunity comes once in a lifetime. That's Jodie Foster.
Go. One shot, do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime.
Boring.
Once in a lifetime.
Yeah, Eminem did a hell of a better job last night. Props to him.
The halftime
And
show.
the most thrilling part of the night was when my nephew Jamesy spilt some soda on Rich's table. That was the biggest reaction of the night.
I didn't even see this happen.
Yeah,
Is it in the
wasn't Cooper.
crevices?
It wasn't Cooper Cup's.
It was Jamesy's cup.
It was Jamesy's cup that caused the biggest stir of the
Did
night.
it go in the crevices?
Oh, it had to have. It's a table full of crevassiers.
No,
That's like when Rich used to spill
cleaned
coffee on my dining room
you're not
I
table.
cleaned the
Crevassiers.
entire crevassiers. With
Did you though?
Yeah.
Crevassiers.
Completely.
What I was gonna say, I hate when people say they do this for the teenage girls. No one in marketing, no one in the mainstream for the Super Bowl books Katy Perry. Teenage girls do not drive ratings.
Ratings.
Ratings are not, the teenage girls are not part of ratings. So when people say like, the Katy Perry thing must have been because of teenage girls don't drive ratings. They don't do it for the teenage girls. No one's turning on
Everyone turned
the
on
Super Bowl halftime show for someone. It just happened to be that must have been a highly viewed.
I think teenage girls don't move NFL ratings. But
Yeah, they
teenage girls run the world.
No, teenage girls move downloads on phones and stuff like that. But
Your
then
entire industry of pop music.
You know what got that show attention? The left and right shark. And I don't mean the guys in the costume. I mean the left and the right. That's what drove it. It's a bunch of middle-aged men that are watching this shit.
Katy Perry.
And the commercials were whatever, right? That culture of caring about that is sort of over. A lot of nostalgic commercials, The Sopranos, Jim Carrey.
You're so right though. The culture,
Nothing great, though.
The culture of the halftime show. I'm sorry, the commercials counting a thing of the past. But Jim Carrey doing the cable guy highlight is the only thing that made me laugh. Where I saw that, I was like, oh, that
was great.
That's fun.
Fantastic. I thought you guys missed it. I thought the Sopranos one was fantastic. The one where Meadow Sopranos driving like they recreated it shot for shot, but carefully updated certain things to today, which was cool.
Yeah, but it doesn't have the same excitement to it. The commercials were a big part of the Super Bowl. Like, Doritos, shut up, shh.
Oh, what's her name? Oh, Dorito Girl. Yeah.
And it
what's up?
It almost. I
funny.
feel like watching games in the past.
Nobody cares anymore.
Yeah, I feel like watching games in the past. People will be like, "Ooh, what's the first commercial after the coin?" Because that first commercial break, you knew was always the most expensive commercial.
I thought that.
I looked around that one
I thought
three
that
people were watching the TV.
The game, the one where the game came to life. That was a cool one.
People like that one.
That was
I
they
saw
were
that one.
destroying the house. With
Well,
all the digital players.
Well,
That was
either
cool.
way,
It was
after
nice
all
to,
the banter, all the back and forth, all the speculation throughout this entire season, it came to a close last night
and you know what?
with a big touchdown, a fitting touchdown to Cooper Kupp, because that dude had the best season. Offensive Player of the Year, Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl MVP. That guy wins all the major awards. Give him a major award. He had a season. Props to Matt Stafford. He's always been great, but he finds a new setting, somewhere he belongs, and he shows that he was the guy, and he
All
just
along.
was in the wrong place all along, and that's inspiring. You
It just,
could be
well,
the
it just
guy
shows you that, like,
at the wrong job, in the wrong relationship. You just put yourself somewhere different, and you're going to have success the way he did. And props to the Rams. As of this week, it turns from Hollywood to Rams House.
Let's see if they got a photo of that.
They're going to switch the sign around.
there is,
And I'm going to change it, and it's going to say fart through the ass.
You're great at those
I'm
things.
going to mix the letters around.
I'm telling you,
Fart
it
through
was.
the ass.
It really is the perfect example of. Man, you wonder what certain people are capable of if they were given the right opportunity. Like
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp was, he got in there.
Some guys are victims
Darnold,
of
you know-
victim's the wrong word, but of opportunity. Like Tom Brady's one of them, right? Derek Jeter, like, they just happen to end up on the Patriots and the Yankees, and they ran with it and they seized the moment. Stafford ended up on the Lions,
There it is, Rams house.
but it led him here. It led him here to this moment.
Yeah,
So,
no, but I'm saying all these other guys found their way to the Rams conventionally through a draft or a free agency signing. Or Matthew Stafford and Jared Goff were traded. Like, he just woke up one day like, "Hey, pack your bags, you're going to L.A."
McVay wanted him though.
Yeah,
Remember they
McVay
were
wanted
schmoozing?
him, and it just it really does show like everything about Matthew Stafford. Now you almost look at his stats differently because you're like, yo, this guy was putting up big
Matthew
numbers.
Stafford.
This guy was putting up big numbers, and was he really great this whole time? Because everyone's like, yo, Stafford's good. He's just stuck in Detroit. That narrative just is confirmed. Like, yeah, that is the story.
That's the story.
So
Was it a good game? It was a close game.
yeah, it was close.
And it was great for the Rams fans. So congratulations. We'll mention some more stuff, some more stats maybe in the rando news, but that was most of our weekend. We hope you enjoyed yours. Hope you didn't have a super spreader. Hope everyone's safe. And, on Friday, all I did was watch Catching Killers on Netflix, which is really good, by the way, because it gives the perspective of course, the victims, right? But the cops and how their lives are consumed, and they're so emotionally distraught from being consumed in their life catching these killers. Like, they're so emotionally torn telling these stories. So that's my takeaway from Catching Killers on Netflix. Highly recommend it. Check it out.
That detectives get way more. It almost consumes their life.
Consumes their life. They know every detail to this day. They
Isn't
never
that
let us
the-
sleep,
but
even when
isn't-
they're with their families.
Isn't
They're
that the
thinking about catching this
stereotype?
guy.
Isn't that stereotype from like fictional stuff though, where the wife and the kids are like, "Honey, you got to stop thinking about the case," and he's like, "I can't stop,"
And they can't.
I got a new lead. It's like
old retired cops telling these stories about catching these serial killers. They start crying still because it was so hard for them. And
Sometimes
that's the
it's-
thing you forget, and we never really get out of these documentaries. You never get that emotional side of these detectives and cops that put their lives into finding these pieces of shit.
Sometimes, yeah, their careers are based around a single case sometimes.
So Catching Killers, check that out. There's a story about cannibalism. Check it
Yum.
out. Crazy.
Okay. You did say that.
And then on Saturday, I got to tell you, this is one of Rich's most clutch sort of invites that he's had in a long time.
About time.
Yeah, no, really, this was great. Rich invited Jordan and I to a brunch.
Yesterday was nice, though.
Well, yesterday we just talked about.
I'm just saying.
But thank you, Rich.
I
for
enjoyed that invite just as much.
hosting Super Bowl was fantastic. As we said last night, you do need surround sound though, but still, I mean, what a host, what a great time.
Please. Do it for. I know it's.
I was like,
I know
what?
it's not cheap.
What?
I know it's not cheap.
I can't hear you.
Yeah, no, but no one really wanted that.
I'll tell you what.
You know,
your
as
next
much as-
party, I don't want booze. I don't want food. I just want surround sound. So invest in that.
I'll
wanted
make sure to
subtitles.
remember you said that.
Couldn't hear the game.
I'll bring it. I'll bring the food. I'll bring the snacks.
Well, I had plenty of booze. My friend Jeanette gave me probably like thousands of dollars of alcohol yesterday.
Easy.
You know what I heard the whole time? I didn't hear any of the game at Rich's house. I heard his buddy Torch talking about his softball swing the entire time.
Yeah.
I tell you, man, you know, it was the count was 3-2, the game was on the line, shabam!
I know his whole softball history
Shabam!
because his buddy Torch was talking softball real loud. I love him. Great guy, nice guy, but I couldn't hear the game is the point. Anyway, so Rich was a great host. We already established that. We had a great time.
Yeah.
The company and the socializing took precedence over the game. That says a lot. We had fun. Thanks to Rich and Sarah. Sarah's birthday, Ben's birthday. We had a good time.
Saturday.
But on Saturday, Rich also came through with a clutch invite, courtesy of one of his pals. See, Rich reaps the benefits of having some successful friends. One of those friends, Janate, who, what does she do exactly?
My friend Jeanette, who I've known my whole life, has she's always worked in the hospitality space, as they call it. So she,
Yeah, but she took that like as far as she can go.
she's smart and
almost,
she's
right?
good. Yeah.
Yeah. She's a cat.
She's driven.
She's got to be making bank.
Jeanette is a girl I've known since I'm in like elementary school. One of my old school pals.
Was she always smart? Or she just
yeah, she was like
was successful?
valedictorian.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she
Oh,
was like
okay.
smart. Yeah.
Well, that makes sense, right?
Yeah, she was like real smart.
And she's cool though, right?
Yeah,
she's
she's
also
cool.
cool. She's not like some nerd.
No,
She's a cool
I tell the story of Jeanette
woman.
where she had she was flat chested with glasses and braces and came back one year like in 11th grade with no more
Juggos.
glasses and braces and all of a sudden got huge jumbos and
Juggos.
so every Guido went from like nerd to like hey jumbos, hey want to hang,
Juggos.
want to go out, and
Juggos.
I was like I've never seen someone's perception change so much. Like
Juggos.
it was nerd. She got titties now. And
So,
every guy,
because
Yeah.
last week was Super Bowl week and there was a lot of festivities
A lot of
leading up
events
to
in
the
town.
big game, a lot of events
Yeah.
in town. And Rich's pal, childhood friend Jeanette, threw some huge sort of party to thank all the sponsors, like a lot of alcohol brands. And
She works for Aramark, which is, if you've ever gone to a venue, sporting event, concert, Aramark runs all the concessions with alcohol at
Right.
venues, concert arenas, stadiums. And
Alcohol brands, let me tell you, love to spend money.
oh yeah, and
They
when-
love to
and,
party and they love to spend money.
when-
They know their audience and their demo
You know,
and their
some of our listeners
world.
might remember Jeanette because at our conventions back in the day, when we would go with our listeners to Mets games, Jeanette was running Citi Field at that time. And I remember her sending over goodies for a lot of our listeners and stuff at some of the games. Then she worked in Philadelphia running all those sports teams clusters, and now she does it nationally. So it was her job to set up a huge party
it was
for
Matt Harvey and Jeanette. They were both running shit.
They
back
were
in
running,
that-
yeah, and
in that day.
yeah, no, it was cool that she is the person in charge of throwing a party. So they sent her out here to scope out a venue and put together a party with a handful of alcohol brands that were like were involved. So
Basically a party for like rich clients.
Right.
yeah.
So let's have a party for all the
An
people that are
opulent-
here for the Super Bowl.
An opulent party for people that spend money.
And since it's one of Rich's
But there's,
closest pals, she's like, yeah, invite some of your friends to go.
I mean, think of the beverage space. There's just so much money flowing around in that space.
And
yeah.
every time someone launches a new alcohol, you say to yourself, the space is already taken. Yet every year there's a new company that's like a new $1 million, multi-million-dollar booze. And it's like people drink. And
People be drinking.
And you slowly realize, too, with as state by state legalizes it, people smoke weed. People drink and people smoke weed. If you don't think people are burying their feelings in alcohol and weed,
People
you're
get
out of your
weird
mind.
when they drink a lot, but people also get even more weird when they're on edibles and you don't know it. I just want to make that clear. And that happens a lot when I'm hanging out with this guy and some of his other friends. I'm like, what's this guy talking about? Oh, he must be on edibles. I think he's stupid or something. Anyway, we're at this party. Rich throws out the invite. My friend Jeanette is throwing a big party, a brunch. You guys are invited. I'm like, I don't do brunch.
Oh, come on.
And then Rich goes, I think it's at Harry Houdini's house. I don't
do brunch.
Harry Houdini's. I don't know. I'm like, Harry, you mean the Magic Castle? No.
It's
The Magic Castle is a very famous, spot
Not
out
the
here.
Magic Castle
Invite
at
all
all.
the- He's like, no, not the Magic Castle. Harry Houdini's mansion. I'm like, so there's a brunch at Harry
Houdini.
There's a brunch at Harry Houdini's mansion,
Yeah.
and it's free. I'm like, all right, let's go.
Apparently, this is the place, this is the estate that he rented from someone for a while while he was working out his underwater trick.
But it's known as the Harry Houdini Estate,
Yeah.
and it's a place we pass all the time, but we don't know what's doing, up in the
Yeah,
hills.
beyond the gates and everything. Like, you don't know anything. It's just
It's like-
it's off a main canyon road in L.A.
Yeah, wake up early Saturday. We are all sort of kind of confused on what to wear, to be honest, because it's been like 90 degrees all week. Perfect weather for the Super Bowl. Anyone that came to
Oh,
LA for
yeah.
the Super Bowl really lucked
Oh,
out.
they must have been like, LA's 80 and sunny, and it's
Yeah,
February.
It's
Yeah,
gonna
that
be.
wor-
It's
that
gonna
worked out
be.
great.
It's gonna be like 60 tomorrow.
Oh, I know.
So,
It's supposed to rain,
it's
too.
extremely hot for this time of year, and it's an outdoor event, a brunch event. And Rich was saying, dress classy casual or something. So I was like,
I asked her, and it said it on the official
that mean?
invite. I'll tell you the exact
get-
phrase, and you interpret it. Because hold on,
That's the thing that I get hung up on, because you don't want to be too underdressed. You don't want to be too
dude, I
overdressed.
had a blazer going,
I
and
wa-
Jordan's like, you're going to be way hot.
oh my God, you were gonna wear a
I had
blazer.
a blazer on and had a whole outfit on, ready to go.
Also, inside versus outside is a big difference. So you really have to, and the fact that the weather, I knew it. I knew the weather was going to be 80 something or 90 degrees. So I'm like, well, I'm wearing shorts, and I can dress casual shorts, but anything beyond that, I'm like, what do I wear?
Spot was wearing like the whole Chad outfit.
Oh, yeah.
but
I
it
was
was
so
fitting
chatted out.
for a brunch.
Yeah, Jeanette said dressy casual, and I'm like, dressy casual. I get
Casual
that.
90-degree weather, though.
Yeah.
So you're like, what do you wear at an event like this, Either way, we roll up and we're like, holy shit, this is magnificent, because the vibe of Houdini's estate, legendary magician Harry Houdini, who my dad, you know how we reference Abe Lincoln all the time, Rich, on the show? My dad referenced Harry Houdini growing up at least once a week, because he would tie me up and torture me. Say, all right, now get out. Let's see if you're Harry Houdini. And I'm like, Dad, leave me alone. I'm going to tell Mom.
That sounds like a child abuse.
No, my dad was just playing magician, I think. He wasn't torturing me or anything.
We're just playing magician.
Now say, Uncle, I'm a punk. Uncle, I'm a punk. Oh, get me out. Let's see. You ain't no Houdini. Come on, let's get out of it. So my dad would, torture me basically and tie me up and tell me to get out of this magic thing, because that's what Houdini did. Remember, he died October 31st, 1926. I think he drowned, right? Trying to get out of, some handcuffs. He was all chained up. He was a magician.
Wait, Houdini died that long ago?
Are you serious?
Bro, I want to strangle you, because I knew he didn't care. He didn't. Because there was so much to see, and all Rich cared about was schmoozing with jerk-offs wearing lanyards and polo shirts.
When did you think Harry
Honestly?
Houdini existed?
Yeah, I'm mad at you already.
I thought Harry Houdini he probably died in like the 50s or so. I didn't know he died in the 20s. I thought he was probably.
Pissed him off.
If you would have told me, if this was a trivia contest and you said, Rich, what year did Harry Houdini die? I probably would have said, a failed stunt in like 1952 or 1948. I was off by like 20, 30 years. I did not know his demise was the 20s.
He lived from 1874
Yeah, he goes back further than
to
I thought.
1926.
1926. So he died, like
in
around the time
Detroit.
He died around the time our grandparents were born. I assume that our grandparents were alive. Spot, yours were because your grandparents were older. But I had assumed that Harry Houdini was around.
They were children.
I had assumed that Harry Houdini was around during my grandparents' childhood.
The most legendary name in magic after the Amazing Jonathan.
Okay, Chris Angel. All right. No,
it's the truth. He's the be-all, end-all G when it comes to magic.
I get it, David Copperfield.
To be invited to his estate, like I said, was something I felt I couldn't pass up. Yeah. Vatos don't do brunch, but man, I gotta see what's doing. And the minute we got there, I was glad we went because there was so much to take in. It was a beautiful estate, lots of property, lots of cool things, lots of like old Hollywood money.
I thought all the detail was interesting. Like even
magic sort of magical detail.
The detailing was something that I noticed because I was like, yeah, this is just a lot of money and detail. Like let's say the outside metal railings on the stairs weren't just railings. At the end of the railings, they had like the railings were actually like velvet ropes essentially, but metal. Like, so the detailing in even the railings was like, oh, this is like a magician's rope.
And I was like, Rich, what are you sitting on? He was sitting on a metal, like a steel magic wand.
Yeah, that was
sitting,
a great seat.
Sitting on it. The whole day,
I thought the whole venue was sort of really nice. It was
hidden sort of rooms. There was hidden rooms. There was a seance room.
There was a room behind. There was a bedroom behind a bookshelf. That's my dream.
A very cool pool. It was very almost like rainforesty in its atmosphere. I showed a picture spot so people can get a vibe. I took a few pictures. Again, I didn't know what to wear to this. I threw something together last second.
Do you want?
I took a lot of pictures.
Jordan on the staircase. Is that what you want?
Well, you could see a whole sort of vibe of the landscape of what it looked like for people on tier 2. Look at that. But it was beautiful.
Beat it, Jordan. I'm trying to look at the landscape.
You could see there were statues of Harry Houdini. It was very jungle-like. Very nice. Very nice.
Yes, it is.
Very nice.
Look at how smooth. What?
I agree with
the stone.
I agree with our feedback.
Round.
Our feedback. Kevin hit us up and said, guessing when Harry Houdini died is sort of equal to Picasso. It's the opposite of like if you told me when did Picasso die? Picasso died in the 1970s. I would have thought like Picasso died way before that. And I thought Houdini was alive for like maybe our parents' childhood.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
He did die of appendicitis. He didn't die of...
I thought he died in a trick.
No, he died apparently. Well, a lot of people are hitting us up saying...
The legend was he gave his wife...
a code.
Bess or something? I don't know.
Bess. That was her name.
He gave his wife the code of like, if there is an afterlife and people are trying to tell you they're coming in contact with me, here's the word, here's the code. And if they don't have the code, there's no afterlife. And to my knowledge...
No one said the code.
No one has said the code till this day. But we were part of the seance, and the whole vibe was just beautiful, and it was just a beautiful day. Oh, U2 style.
You mean that the time I put on a play with Vanessa Hudgens?
Yeah, the time Spot was in a.
Do you remember that?
A play with Vanessa.
And there was
Hudgens.
some celebrity cameos there. Not only the world famous Covino, Rich, and Spot, but Bryan Cranston was there.
He was promoting his mezcal brand.
Aaron Paul was supposed to be there, a fellow Idahoan, but apparently he had the vid, so he couldn't show up. And Vanessa Hudgens was there, and she was part of our little seance.
Yeah, she was.
Her and Spot led the seance with some guy with a...
I'm not even kidding you.
She was banging the S out of me.
I'm not kidding. Hey.
She's like, who is this mystery man?
Spot was sort of a ham during the seance. And when I say ham, I mean like the great Hambino from Sandlot.
Yeah.
No, but he was sort of hamming it up, right? And Vanessa Hudgens was all laughs and smiles at Spot the whole time. Spot, just saying.
Spot was sitting in the seat that got contact.
Yeah, the guy.
Oh, he's taking the credit away from your awesome Travis Kelce look. Your pink.
Well,
No, I'm
that's
saying
it.
Spot was the highlight of the seance because
I put on a show. Well, let me tell you.
he was putting on the show because he sat in the chair.
The guy
Spot just brought the vibe.
The guy
Oh, okay.
clearly okay. You know it was a show, right? Do you know that? You know it was fake, right?
I mean,
Me?
I'm wondering.
Both of you. Do both of you know it was fake?
Yeah. So was the guy's hair. The guy was
Right.
wearing
Yeah,
a
the
wig.
guy, they got a toupee on.
The guy, he does like a little exercise before the seance in the room. He like works the room. And he's like, let me guess the number. And I happen to like guess the number and I was having fun with it. And he chose me because he knew I would have fun. He knew I would play along.
Yeah.
So I was part of the show.
Like Spot apparently got the feeling of the
Like
of
he
the
sat me in
spirits
it had a pad on it. I knew it sitting down. I didn't say anything. I sat on it and it shocks you it shocks your butt. I got shocked in the butt.
It was the first time or the last.
So when
Hasn't happened since the early 2000s.
When this psychic medium is like, we're trying to reach Harry Houdini. Put your hands on the table. Everyone, close your eyes. If Mr. Houdini, if you're here, show us a sign. All of a sudden, Spot. That's when they do the little shock in Spot's chair. So we're all sitting there like, oh, and all of a sudden Spot's like, oh.
And Vanessa Hudgens, actress and hottie Vanessa Hudgens, who's been on the show.
Who is this?
Oh my God. This Travis Kelce guy's so sexy.
What is
That's what I got
I
out
think I'm
of
going to
it
go
too.
from Zac Efron to Spot. We're like, sorry, Vanessa, he's married.
He's a real man.
So,
and
long
then,
story
yeah.
short, I want to say thanks to Rich. You know,
Oh,
he provided the invite, and it was a blast. It was blast in a glass. It was a great time. The booze was flowing.
I thought
We
the
stuffed our
the
faces.
best part was the food they had there.
The atmosphere was the coolest part for me.
They had little breakfast empanadas. They had little mini pancake stacks on a stick.
You
Like
could make your own donut.
I got to tell you, the experience was not wasted on this guy. Maybe this guy, not this guy. So
Why did you
Magic,
assume he didn't have fun?
because he don't even know who the fuck Harry Houdini is.
Well.
All he cared about was free empanadas and
I
and
know
schmoozing.
who Houdini is. I don't know his. Listen,
you.
you only know about him
Magic
because your
Will.
dad was obsessed with him.
Magic Will, Magic Mark, all
Please.
you magic lovers out there. Let me tell you, I appreciated it on your behalf. It was a cool honor to be there, and the property was beautiful.
I think the average person knows all that about Houdini.
Yes, dude, they're not bozos
I
like
think they
you.
just if you say Houdini to the average person, know what they know? Legendary magician that died. But I think most people think he died doing a stunt, which is not true.
Well, he died on Halloween, so I thought he did die doing a stunt for whatever reason.
Most people are hitting us up saying he died because he said he could take a punch from anyone, and apparently someone punched him, and he died from it.
So he died doing a trick.
It
was kinda right.
Yeah, he had like a incident a few days earlier where he kept taking repeated punches and he stopped. But I think they don't know if there's any correlation between that and the appendicitis. Because
I
there's
heard
no
he died of COVID, even
there-
though he got punched in the chest 1,000
There's
times.
no correlation between blunt force trauma and appendicitis.
Yes, Sarah, you are a bozo. So now you know.
As you read the feedback,
Harry
no
Houdini.
idea when he died, Chris Frey. Yeah, but we all know things because we learn from others. I'm learning from you. If you think every single subscriber and friend of Covino and Rich is like, oh yeah, Houdini died in the 20s and they know his life
he's
story.
One of those old entertainer names. It's
I
as
bet
far
you.
back as you can go.
I bet you. The most people know about Houdini is that he was the most famous magician and he revolutionized the magic world.
Yes.
And he died under weird circumstances. I don't
Harry
think people could pinpoint when he died, how he died, anything.
No, there's a lot of mystique and mystery about Harry Houdini because not everyone really understood magic. Like he sort of lived it in a different way. You know what I mean? Like people believed in a different way back then. And he was an escape artist.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was cool. It was a great time, a nice brunch. And, you know, it was nice to have that time, not only with you guys, but Jordan on a Valentine's Day weekend. I feel like Rich covered my whole Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
You know, like, hey man, took you to brunch. Had a good
Yeah,
time.
You brought home a big centerpiece from
Had a
the
nice
party.
centerpiece. You know, they told us to take it home. I was like,
So you're like,
Don't
here's
mind
your,
if I
here's
go.
your flowers, Jordan.
You got her a bottle of wine.
got her wine.
Yeah, see?
Bro, you know, had a nice little party
I think
last
you're all-
night
I
at
think you're all
Rich's
set.
house. I'm all set, even though I'm doing dinner tonight. But still,
I'm reading the feedback 412 the letter C in our show, or you could be on the in-show thread, the most interactive live podcast. Rolando said, usually when you go to a place like Harry Houdini's estate, you'd at least go around and learn more about the person. Rich had no interest. It wasn't a museum. It was a venue. There were no exhibits. It was, here's the place Houdini called home at some point.
It was a little of both.
But there were vendors set up with different boozes. The only thing that had any connection to Houdini as far as learning anything was the seance we did. And it was some actor in a wig that was like, oh, you want to join our fake seance? And let's hold hands and get the spirit of Houdini. And it was a silly, like, amusement park show, like Spot said, but it was fun.
Rolando says, I took the centerpiece, Covino. That's the most Mexican thing you could do. True, but everybody did. They
told us take
They
it. So I
told
was like,
us to.
yeah,
Again,
sure.
his best bud was in charge of the whole thing, and we stayed till the end. She's like, make sure you take all this stuff.
Yeah,
and they were like, that was like a $200 centerpiece for sure.
Oh, yeah.
You
If you know anything
did
about
take the biggest one, though.
If you know
She
anything,
said to. Was
well, who's going to take it, Spot? I'll back him up because
She told me to take that. So okay, cool.
you know when you think about it though, and how much a little thing of flowers costs around this time of year.
Right.
Yeah,
Those things
great.
were like probably $100 or so. It
was
those
nice.
little centerpieces.
But it was
anyway,
a really nice time. I'm glad I went. We boozed it up. It was a beautiful day. That was our Saturday. Of course, Super Bowl Sunday. Had a good time. Great company. Fun to enjoy. A decent game. Good halftime show.
yeah, it was.
And then we killed it on Fox Sports
felt,
Radio.
It felt very normal again. When you think a couple of years ago we were in Miami. Last year, COVID had shut down like every Super Bowl hang or anything for the most part.
Yeah.
I had some Super
This
Bowl
was
hang
it
last
was.
night.
I know you did.
Yeah,
this
dude.
was intimate. What? Oh, your gut over your belt, because that's what mine was hanging.
Well, you have until today's the last day you
Well,
can go.
I have a theory on that.
Okay.
But it was it was an outdoor intimate event, which was perfect. It was a good ease back into society.
No, it was
like I
great.
didn't need to go to be crammed in a room watching Drake at some Super Bowl party.
Yeah, and you know what? I think you're going to see it slowly but surely. I bet you LA lifts the whole mask thing because
people are
Well,
angry.
it's lifted.
I mean,
Angry. There's people posting videos of
after
every
tomorrow, except for everywhere except for here.
there's people.
In LA
Yeah,
County.
well, there's people that are
They were
saying, so every celebrity could go hang at a stadium without a mask, but kids have to go to school with a mask on.
Right.
So there was a lot of social
Like-
media rage. And Mayor Garcetti, who was already
I love his whole thing.
under the microscope because he said, he took a picture with Magic Johnson. Remember this was like a week ago or so? And he was like, well, I held my breath for the picture. Someone was saying, yo, this guy must be a world record holder because there's video and pictures of him all day yesterday.
Just talking.
No mask on at
No
the stadium.
mask.
So I'm not saying that's a big deal. It's just, that's normal behavior. But then stop with the silly mask mandates.
Right.
If everyone of importance or money or fame is fucking chilling,
Especially for the kids.
living life. Yeah, like let the kids be normal again.
Just make it all or nothing.
Yeah,
You
get
can't,
rid of the
you can't
mask
make
mandate.
exceptions. in
Yeah, you
this
can't.
case.
Emmy can't go to school today and be told you have to wear a mask by county mandate when every important rich person's like schmoozing without masks. It's ridiculous. So yeah, it's going to be over. I think this week as far as the mask mandate. It would be terrible optics if they renewed it based on everything, right? I mean, it would be terrible optics.
I just want to see everyone's face.
The mandate ends tomorrow. LA County, I promise they'll end that. They have to.
The mandate ends tomorrow, Rolando, but not here in LA County. It's like everywhere but right here where we are, unless a last-minute change happens. So, welcome to our Patreon again. We had a free Twitch Friday. That was a lot of fun. If you missed that, free Twitch Friday, twitch.tv/Covino and Rich. Just check our social media. We were live on Friday. We were live last night on foxsportsradio.com, so you can get our initial reaction to the Super Bowl as we were processing it live. So catch that at foxsportsradio.com. And now we continue with the rest of the show. That was our weekend. We hope you had a great one. Happy Valentine's Day and all that good stuff. One quick thought, though, as we wrap up Super
Happy
Bowl
Valentine's, puppy.
and all the events leading up to it. We were part of the Super Bowl festivities, man, for the majority of our adult life in the past 20 years. In every city, at all the parties. And our affiliation with Maxim came in real handy back in the day because that was the biggest party.
Yeah.
Based on the social media buzz that I was watching, seems like Sports Illustrated,
was
took that
the
over,
one.
huh?
You know why? Because it was
Is that where all the hot chicks are now?
that one.
Swimsuit issue, obviously.
I would argue just had the best setup, and it was the big one on Saturday night, and it was at CAA, Creative Artist Agency.
Damn, we
The
should have stayed with them.
the big talent agency that reps like every major celebrity, and they have a big office building in Century City. So that's where the party was. So I think that drew the most attention, probably because of the agency.
Heard it was a shit show.
It was a shit show.
Jeanette was also there, your pal Jeanette.
Yeah, she said
it was very unorganized shit show, but it was also, from what I saw, the party with the most celebrities and beautiful people.
The problem with, it depends on the city, but LA especially, is parking. So getting to and from these events that have thousands of people, it's like you're either trying to find parking or spending hundreds of dollars on parking, or you're taking Ubers and you're waiting 3 hours for an Uber because everybody wants one after the party.
Yeah, no, it's a shit show, but you know what? It was cool to see people partying again and having fun. And I guess if I keep saying COVID's over, eventually I'll be all right. So COVID's over.
All right.
Well, you know why I think that too? Because I think that for all the folks that would get, quote, mild symptoms, I think people are just proceeding with their lives now. Does that make sense? Like if someone wakes up and they're a little congested, I think where over the last 2 years, they may have been like, oh, I should probably get a COVID test. I think people are just sort of proceeding with their life.
Proceed with the bar.
You don't get that vibe?
Yeah.
Like, people are just like, right, symptoms are mild. Even if I had, there's probably a lot of people that are like, I was vaxxed and boosted and I got it and I had like 0 symptoms. So why would I get tested if I didn't, you know? I think that's the way.
You don't want people to like ease up too quickly. You still want them to just be clean and pay attention and take precautions.
Yeah, don't be careless, I guess, right? I mean, but
because I feel like the second the mask thing goes away here, everyone's just going to be like licking doorknobs again.
Well, it's about this the rest of the country.
Licking doorknobs.
So everyone's licking doorknobs now except for us. So we'll be soon licking doorknobs.
It's not Rich's first knob.
Or my last knob.
Or his last. Hey, by the way, before we really dive into it, we have mail here that you haven't opened in 4 days. And when people are kind enough to send us...
It's Valentine. Open
Valentine's.
I thought that's what it was. I thought I was expecting some like...
You gotta open
some
it.
chocolates.
So, let's do our mail. So you got our mail song?
Mail.
There, we got some mail. Our address is at covinoandrich.com. You first. Go ahead.
All right. Mail time.
Here's the mail, it never fails. It makes me want to wag my tail. When it comes, I want to wail.
All right, what do you got there?
Is that Pee-wee at the end?
Let's see.
Let's go to Rich. Let's go to One Shot of Rich.
No, it was Rich when he was the host of Blue's Clues.
Rich, you need a real knife for meat. Big Sir Bovine. Big Sir Bovine.
That's a name.
Look at this. I was sent.
Oh.
Look at this.
You got a knife.
Wow.
Beautiful knife.
He's got a knife.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Thank you so much. Who's this, Big Sir?
Wow.
Big Sir Bovine.
Should have opened that yesterday.
Thank you, buddy. This is a beautiful knife. This is nice.
That must be. Is that a Cutco or a Ginsu?
This is a.
Looks like a Ginsu.
Wow, man.
You could cut a can and then
Oh,
slice
yes.
a tomato, paper thin.
Global. Something
Thank
global.
you.
Wow.
Very sweet.
I mean, that's
Thank you.
very thoughtful.
That is
Very thoughtful.
That's
This
like
guy
that's
makes
spread.
ducats.
That's
and we got
very,
you
very
buying them
nice. I
How nice is
appreciate that.
All right, so here we go. There's more mail here. We appreciate you guys. Happy Valentine's Day, Papa. Covino, Rich, and Spot.
Oh, hey.
I feel like I'm reading a date card from The Bachelor.
You just ripped it.
I ripped nothing.
You have a group date.
Yeah. Love is in the air.
Head to the helipad.
Where they'll be waiting.
A
for a
rich
special
man
event.
once told me, once you slow down, you stop. Always have goals. Nice to achieve great things than what you have now. Greater things than what you have now. Never settle. That's right, because we're not pilgrims.
Yeah.
We don't have buckles on our shoes. Thank you, guys, for the daily dose of laughter and entertainment. May these socks always prevent you from ever getting cold feet. God bless. Tim in Arizona. Crocodile socks for Covino.
Oh, look at that comfy socks.
Did he buy me fuzzy socks?
Yeah.
Oh, he bought you fuzzy socks.
Shark socks for Rich. Oh, he's here.
Oh, look at these. I'm gonna put these bad boys on my tootsies.
Wait a second. What is this? In a 3-pack, we have to split accordingly. Oh, look at this. a whole thing of fuzzy socks.
Fuzzy, fluffy socks.
Thank you. Thank you, Tim in Arizona. Very thoughtful and very funny. We appreciate it.
Lizard.
Wait, so these must be your spot. The Bob Ross ones?
Oh.
Yeah. Bob Ross for spot.
Look it up. I love them.
Look at these happy little socks.
Oh,
Happy
please.
little socks.
Look at those bad boys.
Happy.
Hey, Tim in Arizona.
Thank you, Tim.
so much. That
What
was
a
really
guy.
nice of you.
Tim,
These
everybody.
are fantastic. I love these. Look at that.
Crocodile Rock, man. Look at this.
Sweet. I'm going to wear my shark ones later.
To go with my crocodile head. This is perfect.
I love socks.
That's very nice. Thank you, Tim. Thanks for the mail. Thank you, guys. Happy Valentine's Day.
I have an observation, a friend in need
Happy
that we were going to get
Valentine's,
to.
puppy.
A dumb question. I have a few things we could get to, but one last thought on the mask thing. If it does go away, do you think we're going to play double Dutch with this for years, where we're jumping in and out like masks, no masks, masks, no masks? Or do you think that? I wonder, because you have a daughter who's 12.
I do.
I have Ben is now 2. Emmy going to be 5. Will we look back, and will they look back at, hey, you remember that like year or whatever of our lives when we were little kids that we had to wear a mask? Or do you think the mask is something maybe people wear at airports, maybe people wear some places? Where do you see in 5 years from now, what will the mask's role be
In
society?
airports, major events, some people will choose to wear a mask.
Some people choose.
Yeah.
But like
choose.
But you saw that you watch a football game now with 50,000 people, no one's wearing a mask. So you think it'll be the super cautious person, like one out of every.
Well, remember why? I mean, we would chuckle when foreigners would wear masks at the airport. We would. Sorry, it was true. We're like, what is this about? But it was a respect thing. They weren't necessarily 100%. So they're like, well, let me keep my shit to myself. And I think you'll see the general public maybe take some of that lead.
I think it'll be the
gotten used to it a little bit.
I think it'll be the cautious. I don't want to get sick because I'm traveling internationally person, but I really think that if it's not mandatory,
the mask was never a big thing for me. So you're asking the wrong person.
No, but
I
I'm
hated
saying
that my daughter had to wear it like every moment of her last.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, well,
but
my
as
kids.
far as like just rolling with shit and wearing it, it never really upset me.
No,
that
I'm
much.
saying, well, I care more about our kids than, to be honest, us with this. I'm saying, will there come a time where they look back as,
there comes a time.
Hey, you remember that like year of our lives that was weird and people wore masks everywhere? Like, I don't think in a couple of years from now I'm going to go to Ralph's to do shopping.
It's been like 2.5 years almost now. I feel like.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
No,
that's almost 2 years. Almost
we're
2 years.
approaching
Not
2 years.
We're
Oh yeah,
approaching
2 years in March.
Yeah. So we're about when everyone's wearing a mask, we're about a year and a half plus into it. So I just wonder.
2 years. Wow.
I wonder where in 5 years we are on this. I bet you. So in 5 years from now,
2 years and a month exactly.
Like I don't think when Melody's at her prom in 5 years. Wow. When Melody's at her senior prom in 5 years, looking to figure out what she wants to do for college, I don't think mask will even be a thing of a conversation.
I mean, I don't think the virus is going away.
Yeah, but I don't think people will. I think it'll be like not a big deal though. Planes maybe will be the last two.
Yeah.
Yeah, like maybe travel. Maybe when you're on a plane, it'll be like keep your mask on.
That's at the federal level. So
we highly recommend. Then it'll be we highly recommend it. Airports, hospitals, maybe federal buildings. There'll be a progression, I think. But that's it. I don't feel like talking about that any more than that. It's interesting because when the most liberal places are starting to lift it, that means it's, we might have seen the last of the masks.
I'm going to wear mine around my chin on the 21st for Abe Lincoln. Right? That's President's Day? Is it the 21st?
Well, you should. Well, I think, didn't his birthday pass? I think his birthday passed.
I think Jim Carrey should have been the mask instead of a cable guy in a commercial last night.
It's pretty weird or interesting. He reprised. Is it reprised?
Reprised, yeah.
The role of the cable guy when that was like his least popular.
Well,
it made sense with the movie, the commercial, right?
Commercial, yeah.
He must have got paid for
Wait,
that.
we missed it. It was this weekend.
What?
Abraham Lincoln's birthday.
Jeez.
No, President's Day is the 21st.
I know, but
when's his birthday?
His birthday is the 12th.
This is when I'm going to be. I'll be rocking this. Every President's Day. Every President's Day, I'll be doing it.
Every year, just say, Covino, tribute to Abe.
4 score.
Abe Lincoln style. Abe Lincoln style. All right, so I digest. Carry on.
Are you going to put that on?
Proceed with the Boroville.
Show Jordan
Yeah,
what Abe Lincoln
honestly,
style is?
to wrap it up, I think Ryan hit us up with
Four score and 20 seconds ago.
Or score.
As I agree with Ryan 100%, who just hit us up saying the mask mandate will very quickly change if the next administration is Republican.
Yo, bro, I'm not into mandates. I'd rather talk about crab cakes.
All right, cool.
Mandates.
And I say that respectfully. I do. Like masks, schmasks. Let's get rid of them. I can't wait. I don't think they're going to ever go away. Kids have a different mentality than you and I. We know life before masks. A lot of these kids, all these weenies my daughter's friends with here in LA, they're sort of used to it. They hide behind it now. It's like a dude with a beard. You get used to it and you hide behind it. You hide your weak chin. All these little kids hide their little schnozzes like this. Like, hey, what's going on? Hi. Hey, yeah, I got my mask on. It's part of their whole look. They're used to it now. So these kids, they're growing up with a different mentality.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that depends on where you live.
I don't know.
No, but I'm saying depending on where you live, we may be different than our neighbors. No, meaning like when you went to college and you're like, yo, I met the new guys and girls I met. This person's from Denver. This person's from Massachusetts. This person's from here. You might have a bunch of kids that are very different bumping into each other on a global level. Because state to state will be different for the first time.
Civil war in 20 years. You'll
possible.
See. It'll be masks versus no masks.
I'm a mask kid.
Masks are for lamos. Snowflake.
Who you calling Snowflake? I just like the mask.
Civil war. All over the mask. That's what I predict.
Bam.
Wow.
How you like that hot take?
Wow.
How you like that?
Hey, I have to pee. Truthfully, because I've been drinking a lot of water, trying to flush all that food out of our system.
God.
And I have a theory about
trying to flush out Spot Stromboli.
I have a theory on food and diet that you'll love. Get your
I can't wait.
Get your water drop ready. I'll be back in a second. If you want to drop a Houdini fun fact while I'm gone, please do.
No, that's okay. I had a great time. You want to pull up that picture? Because I cared about being at Houdini's house. Rich didn't even see the shit that we saw. There was a big giant red chair that I posted a picture of on my social media at Steve Covino. I sent you a picture, Spot. It says Houdini Estate.
I was gonna
and then I'll let you know about some other stuff going on. Last week, we did an interview on a podcast called Beyond the Bench. And if you want to check it out, Rich and I addressed some things we've never really addressed about our lives and career. So there I am at the Houdini Estate.
I'm glad you switched into not wearing a blazer.
Yeah, I was wearing black pants, a black shirt, and like a purple blazer because I thought purple brought that magic sort of vibe at Houdini's house. But I switched last minute because Jordan's like, "You're gonna be too hot." I was like, "I'm too hot anyway."
Did you spill something on your shirt?
No, that's the Houdini Estate, the ass state. Wait till you see the Covino ass state when we sign that multi-million-dollar deal with Fox Sports. So
weren't you, by the way, I thought your first initial wardrobe, weren't you going real goth like Chris Angel? Weren't you, didn't you get all fake tats for your arms and you were wearing crosses and
no,
he was
going to Copperfield Pompadour wig.
Oh,
no, he was
a cape.
He was dressed as Burt Wonderstone.
Burt Wonderstone.
Your favorite movie?
I was doing my best.
And
David
Rich
Blaine.
showed up who was the Jim Carrey character in that?
I forget, but that was great.
Oh, that was a good movie. That was
supposed
actually
to be like Chris Angel.
That was actually a pretty decent
Not a bad movie. Yeah,
it
it's
goes
not a
under
bad
the radar.
movie.
Burt Wonderstone. I'm not saying it's great, but it's watchable for sure.
So anyway, that's the Houdini
Steve
Estate.
Gray.
I wanted to tell you we did an interview on Beyond the Bench, it was called. Mm-hmm. Check it out when you have some spare time, because Rich and I are usually the ones doing the interviews, but we've been doing more interviews.
It's good.
And being interviewed more lately than we have in the past, just talking about our show and our experience. So catch it Beyond the Bench with Nick Morgeson, and a shout out to knackbags.com. They sponsor our free Twitch Friday, but remember, guys, anyone that sponsors us, that helps the cause. So if you're in the market for a bag, but a quality bag, knackbags.com, code CRSHOW for a special deal. CRSHOW, knackbags.com, KNACK bags.com. They're a new sponsor, and they're really nice, high-quality bags, so we appreciate your support there. We all have one, so thank you.
They're nice.
Proceed with the board, Phil.
I had a feeling yesterday that
that tonight's gonna be a good night.
I thought that the food was great yesterday, and I feel like it really was a rock bottom moment.
Yep.
Do you smell what Spot is cooking?
Eminem didn't perform rock bottom,
and the Stromboli,
but I saw rock bottom when he was introducing
in his slacks, his tucked in shirt.
He wore like incredibly tight. He like could have gone up a size.
So I just feel like all the food was great. Yeah. But I feel like I'm done. I don't feel like I'm going to need, I don't know how to describe it. I'm really good at identifying something as an issue and really committing to it and not really thinking much about it. Like I realized yesterday I'm done eating crappy, and I'm like not even craving the idea of like, well, I'm going to miss this or miss that. Like I feel like yesterday
fast food.
Yeah, no, and I'm fine. Yeah, I guess those are just things. I was really feeling like, well, just until I felt shitty, I was like, well, why not eat what I want if I'm not seeing the bad results? But now I'm starting to see the bad results. And yesterday we just
that lag effect. It doesn't happen like overnight.
It was a situation where I just looked at the table of food and I'm like, this is all just so gluttonous, and I'm going to have food like everyone else and eat the dips and the wings and
went
the
hard yesterday.
Stromboli and the cake and everything. And then after I was done, I really did feel a sense of like when people say, well, if you want to start something, start it now, don't wait. Honestly, the whole idea of yesterday being like the finale, I feel like I ate gross enough that I disgusted myself from those foods. Where like I have no desire, like I'm going to feel great eating healthy now. Because when you overdo it, it's like, you know when you eat something so much that you're sort of put off by it?
Yeah, what's that shit we used to eat back in the day?
Pudding. Yeah.
That's not what they say in
reached your saturation point. You're done.
Yeah, and I was just like, I don't know, I felt gross, and I was like, you know what? It's about time, and I'm excited to eat healthy. I'm going to a wedding in a month and a half, and I'm like, it would be nice to be trimmed for that wedding as a guest because I, want to look slick. And then I said, you know what? What a great ending.
It's the rebirth of slick.
What a great ending to our gluttony, because there really was a lot of good food last night. I thought the supermarket wing spot that we reheated were actually pretty good.
You know why? Because I put them in the convection oven and they got a little crispy.
They got a little crisp. I saw that. Yeah. So yeah. They were selling hot wings at Ralph's, like the little kitchen area, and I bought like 50 wings, and I thought they were fantastic. So the wings were great. Spot Stromboli we had.
I made 5 Strombolis yesterday.
Great.
By the way, I did it behind the velvet rope. If you want to watch me making Strombolis, see how easy it is. 3 ingredients. That's
so
it.
I mean, I just think
was fantastic though.
It's nice to feel motivated to want to do it. Like I'm excited to jump on today, and I know you said starting today, Covino, we were gonna hold each other accountable.
No, starting tomorrow.
Starting tomorrow.
Today's Valentine's Day. It was tomorrow.
Okay. Well,
you don't even remember your own rule.
Yeah, and I'm gonna start today though. I don't have
you
it in
can
me.
Start today, but
I don't have it in me to do anything
do
else.
with all
There's
that?
a lot of Russell.
I'm gonna throw it out.
Chocolate exchanges between
Maybe
Russell
I'll
Stovers and
take
chocolate starfish.
Maybe I'll take a few pieces for the day.
You're not eating
And then I'll
chocolate
start tomorrow.
starfish tonight?
There's a whole
No.
there's a half a tray of buffalo chicken dip in there. You can't throw that out.
I know.
Yeah,
You could
people
take it
have
with you.
Dinners, like I have dinner plans for Valentine's, Mama, Papi. So,
yeah, but I think it's
starting tomorrow for me for sure.
But I think this is a great time, and you said it. So I think all of us together.
Yeah.
I think all of us together.
Caleb Dibrel says,
what
good
does he
luck.
say?
You're gonna be at Taco Bell you're gonna hear the bell, ding. Or is it like, oh? You're gonna hear you're gonna hear the commercial.
Yeah,
I
think what your problem is you try and like quote unquote quit cold turkey, and I don't mean actual cold turkey like sandwiches.
Yeah, cold turkey will be on the diet actually.
High in sodium. I think that you go so extreme that then you relapse. I think you need to like make smart choices, and then eventually like all your choices will be smart.
That's not what I want to do though. Okay. Don't tell me what to do.
Damn.
I want
Awkward burgers.
I want to eat healthy
The best diet
all
is
the
the
time.
diet you'll stick to.
But I don't want to stick to a diet. What don't you get about that?
You want to eat some awkward burgers?
I want to.
Are they?
I want it for maybe
high in fat.
And maybe for like, I don't know, 6 to 8 weeks, eat super healthy, lose like 10 pounds of fat, feel great, right in time for like the spring, summertime. And then if I want to have shitty food, I'll have shitty food. I don't want to create a lifestyle.
Isn't that yo-yo dieting? I'm just saying.
It's
isn't
yo-yo
that-
dieting when people lose. For
Isn't
me,
that what it's called?
Yo-yo dieting, I think, is when people lose and gain 20, 30, 10, 15, 20 pounds. I've never gained any of that amount of weight. So I'm not in this conversation. I don't want a lifestyle change.
I am.
I want to just trim up. So my
I've
diet
yo-yoed
plan
with
is
the best of
everyone's
them.
diet plan is going to be different. You did keto, lost a ton of weight, and looked fantastic. But then you stop because keto's not something you really should do your whole life, as you said.
I don't think so. I don't know.
So, I mean,
I always hear
Other people would argue differently.
Yeah, I was gonna say you talk to Keto
Like
5
people who yelled at me because I take medications for my heart.
People will tell you different.
Yeah.
Depends on
'Cause that
what
makes
you're reading.
sense.
yeah, I mean, what am I going to if I go to
Eric Reynolds will tell you different.
if I go to a party or do something, of course I'm going to have a piece of cake or eat pizza or do what people do. I'm saying on my day-to-day, I'm going to eat super healthy for a while until I see results. And then when I see results, I'll back off of being so strict on myself.
But let's remember what we said
You want
last
to be the guy
week.
that has salmon and grilled chicken your whole life, every meal? That's sort of boring.
Yeah, every meal, but like,
Yeah, I mean,
you
you had Stromboli more than anyone yesterday. So you have exceptions when you party. No? You didn't have Stromboli and wings and dips? Of course you did.
If you let me finish my statement,
Yeah.
those events become the exception, not the rule.
Yeah.
It's like most of my life is consumed with chicken and salmon and vegetables and eggs.
Yeah.
Love eggs.
Remember though,
Egg whites.
we said starting tomorrow, the regiment begins. Because you always wait too late to start training for the summer bod.
What do we eat? Or
Starts tomorrow,
Tacos.
day after Valentine's Day, because you might have some
Oh,
chocolates.
but tomorrow's a
and
Taco
dinner tonight.
Tuesday.
what do we eat, by the way?
Don't matter.
What do
Every
we-
Tuesday's a Taco Tuesday.
What do we eat or drink last night that my pee is like bright yellow?
That just means you're not hydrated.
Yeah, I've been trying to drink a lot more water, but I feel like yesterday we just ate so much.
It's when your body's probably retaining a lot of water because you had a lot of high sodium foods. So now, more and more water. You're gonna drink a ton of water, load up just a little bit more, and then you're just gonna shed it all.
Yeah. No, listen, everyone's different. I'm no slim good body, but
Neither am I.
but I'm saying
I haven't been to the gym in a month and a half.
everyone is going to take their fitness and diet because there's two elements, right? The dieting is way more important than the fitness, but fitness is a big part of it. But I'm saying, Covino, everyone's going to be different. What you do versus Spot and me, all three of us are not going to do the same thing.
I had hope, like when Lizzo was becoming really popular, that like everyone was just gonna embrace their fatness. It's not the case. I'm harassed by dudes with abs on my Instagram constantly. That's all my feed is dudes with abs. I'm like, ugh. Follow one workout guy, and you just get dudes with abs. That's it. Tortures you.
So
Makes you
starting
want abs
tomorrow,
on your own.
guys. Enjoy your one last day of gluttonizing. Trying to get you to join us on the journey to fitness.
Let's do it. We should do it like a contest, like those contests. You know?
I'm down. I was trying to find the scale this morning, but I was like, yeah, even if I find it, Covino won't weigh himself.
You can't even find your scale?
No, I haven't weighed myself in like months. I weighed myself at the gym a couple times, but
Let me
I used to
tell
weigh
you,
myself in
I
the
never
morning.
really worried much about that.
I don't want to see my weight after this weekend. I don't want to see it.
Yeah, I don't want to see that. But that was
Give
never
me a
really the
week.
motivator.
Give me a week after this, and then we'll start from there.
Because the lightest I was, I also had no muscle tone either. So, what good does that do? Yeah. But anyway, enjoy your Valentine's Day. Enjoy your routine. We hope you enjoyed all your snacking this weekend.
Have been completely thrown off, and I think, Covino, you can attest to this, since we got COVID.
Yeah.
I had like a month of where I couldn't
Everything was
breathe.
thrown off.
So November was out. November was out for as far as fitness. December, like I had a little bit in December, and then the fucking holidays hit. And then I was like, the week before New Year's, I'm like, I'm going to really get back into it. Then I threw my back out. So since November, I've been going downhill. So now it's time to get back up that hill.
Well, hopefully everyone's motivated. The end.
You brought it up.
Get your fitness on. Besides diet, you gonna hit the gym again or no?
Let's go. Beat my gym.
Eventually, yeah. I have to.
What do you mean eventually?
I get vaccinated next month. So, yeah. Eventually.
Oh, that's right. You can't go until
Try
then.
to, trying. But that doesn't mean I can't do little things, right? So, rando
why
news
next
of
month?
the day. Because that's what the doctor said.
Oh.
Don't you guys tell me to listen to the doctor?
Yeah. If the
I
doctor
didn't
said
before.
that, do it.
Now this is what he says, and people are still mad at me.
Oh,
about
doctor told me no more monkeys jumping on the bed.
it. So I like that. Rando news. There's not a lot. We covered most of it. So rando news of the day. As of this week, for the next 3 weeks, Hollywood is now Rams house. It's kind of cool. Do you remember what it was? Do you know what it was before it was Hollywood?
Hollywood Land.
Hollywood Land.
Hollywood Land. It's
They
a movie.
got rid of the land. Why is that? Any reason they just decided to shorten it?
Well, didn't like something happen to the sign?
Someone made they changed the letters around. It said fart
Through the ass. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're like, yeah, we got to just change it to Hollywood.
Fun fact, wasn't Hollywood Land was like a housing development, right?
Hollywood
Yeah,
Land.
they were going to build.
They were promoting a housing development, Hollywood Land, and it just became iconic and it kept the Hollywood.
Hooray for Hollywood.
And now it's the thing that everyone wants to see.
Rams house. Cooper Kupp scored his 21st touchdown last night. Third player in NFL history to have 21. I'm sure you know the other two.
Jerry Rice and Randy Moss.
There you go. Randy Moss with the most 24, Jerry Rice with 22. Cooper Kupp became only the third player to do that with a magical season. Like a Houdini-like season.
Yeah. See ya. Who?
Abracadabra.
What did he do?
21st touchdown. But he also won the Super Bowl, won the MVP, won the Offensive Player of the Year. Dude was baller this season. Honestly. Not bad for a guy that looks like Jake Paul. Eminem took a knee during the halftime show. Became a little controversial. I thought nothing of it as I saw it.
I got to tell you, and I don't know if this is because I didn't think of it. There was zero resonation with that. Or resound.
Yeah. That's what he just said. I agree. I was like,
Like,
if no one even brought it up, I wouldn't even have thought.
I just assumed
I
he
thought
was
at the
like.
end of the act, he was like, done.
I just assumed he was like
theatrical, right? I thought it was being theatrical.
I thought he was because he was trailing off the end of Lose Yourself, and like kind of dipping down
I thought
for.
he was like, lose yourself in the moment, down, end the
was
show.
like,
You know what, man? All good. Whatever. That's his choice. He's an entertainer. He's a performer.
Things
I
have
had no
meaning.
issue with it.
Anyone that's mad at that, fucking get a life. Get a life.
I mean, if you were mad at that, you were most likely mad at the entire show. So
It doesn't matter because
be consistent.
50 Cent Upside Down still stole the show. 50 Cent Upside Down was still the most viral sort of takeaway.
Isn't that funny? It's funny how we are as a human and as a public, right? Like they do this whole show, orchestrated, choreographed, a million things go into it. The order of the songs, who's going to perform, how are we going to balance this? And what people are talking about is 50 Cent Upside Down.
And Snoop Dogg thought for sure it was going to be like his sweet bandana outfit, his blue suit that he was wearing. But no, it's 50 Cent. You can find me in the club, bottle full of bub.
Did you see him trying to like get down after that?
Well, they cut the camera and then all of a
Yeah,
sudden
but
he
you
was-
could see him like wiggling out of the rafters.
So we talked about it earlier, the whole halftime show extravaganza. That was
feel
great. Congratulations again to the Rams. They win 23-20. Joe Burrow, we made this point yesterday. It's so funny how you're wearing one outfit and you look like, man, look at all the confidence he has. He's wearing a whole Mountie hat and a zebra print suit. That outfit when you lose looks like a clown's outfit. When you win and when you're going into the game, you're like, man, look at that guy. He's got the swag. When you lose, he's like, yeah.
You look like the Hamburglar.
Yeah. Speaking of swagoo, Kanye West continues to be in the news. I didn't even write this down, but he was all over the news this weekend.
Oh, did you see him losing his mind?
He's losing his shit. He's making an ass of himself because he's calling out Pete Davidson, bringing
By the way,
attention.
Spot, I sent you a picture that it might be my favorite.
It's
Look
so
at our
stupid because there's always a new guy. There's
He
always a new guy.
excessively is calling out.
Why bring attention to the new guy?
I sent our group chat. I
cares?
sent our group chat a picture, and this meme made me laugh very much. It's the goofiest picture of Pete Davidson. Have you seen this? And it said, "This is really the antagonist in Kanye West's life right now."
The one thing I can get behind a little bit.
Guy's wearing flower pants and a cat shirt.
Yeah, he's
that
the
guy.
And an old lady
That's
sergeant.
the guy. That's the guy who's infuriating Kanye West right now.
I mean, how ridiculous is that?
He needs to like get back on his meds because clearly I understand, he's an emotional point. I saw that you go through this, not on the grander level of Kanye and Kim, but it's hard.
Yeah, but even though he's a celebrity, he's still going through it the same way everyone else does. Same adjustments you got to make, right?
He's just a bigger platform.
But he's putting it out there and he's making an ass of himself and he's calling out Pete Davidson. He's talking about, winning his family back. His entire social media timeline is about he's got to get Kim back and win his family back and this is terrible and all this shit. And he's just looking like an ass. And he's saying that he's not going to make music with Kid Cudi anymore because Kid Cudi's supposed to be his friend and this album's supposed to be about, winning his family back and his future and like how could he ride with a guy that's not even on his team? And so Kid Cudi's out of the mix. And, I could understand like, if you're my friend, then be my friend. But he's taking it a little too far.
And the other Kanye thing that he makes him look stupid and like a bully is he already, I mean, you mentioned this last week, but he already is known for interrupting Taylor Swift at an award show, like interrupting a young woman in music back in the day and humiliating her. Now he's picking on Billie Eilish saying,
no, it's
drop out of the, apologize to Travis Scott. Or if you don't apologize to Travis Scott, I'm done with Coachella. And then it's like, so now you're bullying a fucking young woman to apologize to your friend.
Like I said, apologize.
I gotta be honest.
Atrocious boots you created.
That has taken a backseat to his rampant ravings about Pete Davidson.
Yeah,
you should see these posts.
I haven't seen any of them.
Yeah, his entire timeline.
His entire time, like here, this is his timeline. Just so the whole timeline is about Pete getting in the way. But let me go through the individual posts.
Calls him a dick. I think.
Please bring our family back together.
Oh no!
I didn't wake up here. Let me move this over. I didn't wake up and fight for my family to trend over the Super Bowl, but it happened. The Super Bowl brings families together. For everyone married, hold your spouse close. Make sure they know how much you love and appreciate them, because there's a skeet lurking in every dirty ass alley waiting to help destroy your family and walk around in Calvin Kleins around your children. I wish my wife was with me and our children sitting at the 50-yard line. Always remember, West was your biggest W.
By the way,
and Super Bowl.
All this drama
West
is
upside
pulling.
down.
All this drama is got to be pulling Northwest in two different directions. Get it? Northwest, two different directions. Anyway, he also posted a text that Pete Davidson sent to him about like, I hope we could all be friends. And he's like, nah, fuck you, dick. Some shit. Oh, no. Yeah, if you scroll behind one of the pictures, Spot, Pete Davidson sent him a text that he posted. And Pete was just like, yeah, I hope we could all get along one day. And he's like, nah, we'll never be. Oh, he's like, and I hope to meet your children. He's like, nah, you'll never meet my children. So I don't think Pete met him yet. But he's going on and on and on. He's like making every high school mistake.
Yeah, well,
on a national,
he's not used to not getting what he wants, I guess. That happens.
It's very hurtful, going through all that. But he's got to get it together. It's going to be a downward spiral for that guy. And lastly, in entertainment news, Ivan Reitman, director, producer, writer, passed away at 75. Best known for Ghostbusters. And he produced, I believe he was one of the producers of Animal House. And he did all the twin stuff.
Right.
Like a lot of the Schwarzenegger movies, Kindergarten Cop,
and
things
his
like
son,
that.
His son's in the game now.
Yeah,
Evan, right?
So rest in peace, Ivan Reitman. You've seen him a lot in these movies that made us documentaries.
Jason Reitman. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Meatball Stripes, Ghostbusters 1 and 2, Twins, Kindergarten Cop, Dave. I love Dave, and Junior.
So rest in peace.
And he
Ivan
produced Animal House, Beethoven, Space Jam, and Private Party.
Beethoven.
75.
And who's the guy? Who's the guy? The main dude in Grogan? Who's the main?
Charles Grodin.
Charles Grodin. Yeah, the guy from. Remember Beethoven? Your family watch that a lot as a kid?
Hell no, my family didn't watch that stuff.
I feel like my siblings loved any movie with like a dog in it. It was like Beethoven. That shit was on VHS nonstop. So
he produced Draft Day.
So rest in peace, Ivan Reitman. That's your rando news of the day.
He died just before the Super Bowl.
And now we focus, guys. We shift our focus to the NBA and Major League Baseball in about a month. So pitchers and catchers. So I'm excited about that. And what a season, man. What a season. What a season.
Couldn't ask for anything more.
It was a great season.
Who could ask for anything more?
NFL, you did it again.
Houdini's house. Oh.
Rando News brought to you by knackbags.com.
Random news.
There's a show. We did the random news. Yeah.
I didn't play it yet.
And that was the random news.
And that was the Rando News.
Happy Valentine's, papi.
Thank you. Enjoy your Valentine's.
I'm telling you.
It's going to take a little wine and Russell Stowe.
Sometimes they put the little stinger at the end.
In the world
Segment.
In the world of dumb reality shows, I know you love The Bachelor. Other people love Housewives, and everyone's got their own little.
I love to hate on it because it sucks. It sucks.
Everyone has their own guilty pleasure. I watched a little bit of The Bachelor because I kept hearing you and other people talk about how wild and crazy this Shanae girl is. So I'll be honest. Is it Shanae, right?
Shanae, yeah.
I watched a little bit for her, and she is a crazy. She's television gold.
Yeah, she's playing the game and open about it. Like,
God.
I just cried, and all these girls believe me. They're so dumb. She's taking that sort of angle.
And I think it's amazing. Like, yeah, I just lie to everyone, and like, he believed me over them. It's like, that's the only interesting part.
She's playing a great villain.
There is a guilty pleasure that Sarah and I started watching it. I'll tell you what, I started watching it for an odd reason. I met my friend Jeanette's fiance, Juan.
Great
Who,
dude. Guy.
Dude is Juan in a million.
He really is.
He's Juan, hell of a guy.
You know how every wedding has their like hashtag? Jeanette, when Jeanette gets married, it should definitely be Jeanette found the Juan. Definitely. I got to write that down. So
Magic Juan.
I meet one of my best pals' fiance. I had not met him before. They had been together a year or so, but COVID, and she's living on the East Coast. She's living in Atlanta. We haven't really got together with him. I've seen her a couple times a year, but never met the fiance. And
I'm the Juan you love. Come on, baby, show your love.
She was saying how, man, I was thinking about having Juan come out to LA with me for the Super Bowl, but I'm going to be busy and I don't know. And I was like, well, Jeanette, tell him to come out. She goes, yeah, I don't know. I'm like, tell him to come out. He can stay by us and I'd love to meet him. I don't want to meet the guy for the first time at your wedding. I've seen him on Zoom a bunch of times when I've talked to you, and I would love to get to know him. You're my pal. So invite your fiance out to LA and he could go to the events with you. And if he can't go where you're going, I have a guest bedroom. He's more than, welcome here. So I meet this guy, and there's something strange about it, but totally normal at the same time. You meet someone over Zoom over the last couple of years. Like my main boss at SiriusXM, I've never met him in person.
I think it's always strange meeting a white guy named Juan.
That is
Even
true.
though he's Cuban, but he is very white in appearance. He looks like his name should be like Chuck. But his name is Juan.
Chuck.
Shout out to Chuck. What the fuck?
Chuck.
So
but he's a Spanish Cuban, so I get it. It's like my sister's ex-boyfriend was Luis.
Not very Luis.
He didn't look very Luis, but full on Cubano.
So this is a guy that I've never met, but I've seen him on Zoom. You've talked to people, and it's a world we live in now where there's probably people you've dealt with for years or don't know in person, right? There's coworkers that I've had. We only met our Fox boss one time because we were sort of adamant about like, let's get some FaceTime and meet this guy. Because we could have very well never did that. And we'd be working for people that have never met us in person.
Yeah.
It's the last 2 years. So get a knock on the door. Juan arrives here on Friday night. We get a little dinner, talk. I've talked to him before, so it wasn't awkward, but it was like, hey, nice to meet you, man. Welcome, welcome to LA. And I was like, hey, what do you want to watch? It was late night. We had talked enough. We had eaten. It's like, let's throw on something to eat, something to watch. And you don't want to dive into something so serious. You're like, do you want to watch something cheesy and stupid? And him and Sarah and I all sarcastically laughed at something, but then that was the indicator that, maybe we should put that on because we all just sarcastically laughed. Love is Blind. season 2 on Netflix. And let me tell you.
Which one's that again?
It's the one with Nick and Vanessa Minnillo Lachey. Nick Lachey and Vanessa Minnillo hosting.
And they're all in the pods, right?
They're in the pods.
Oh, they're in the pods. Pod people.
They can't see each other.
For weeks, they all talk to each other, but they don't know what each other look like. So they make these bonds with people, and they agree to get engaged to people they've never physically seen.
We agreed, Rich and I, that you can't even buy a house sight unseen. You won't even buy a house that you can see the pictures of online, right?
I mean, in today's market, you kind of have to.
In today's market, they'll say that. Sight unseen, you either want it or you don't. You're like, but before I buy it, I got to see it. That's a lot. That's a big investment. Imagine, speaking of big investments, marrying somebody without seeing them.
I mean, it's a silly, it's a silly reality. It's a silly reality show. But watching all these people, you know what they look like, but they don't know what each other look like. So all these people are bonding. Like they go in these pods and they talk to each other. Like Zusha hit us up saying the first season was so good. Yo, second season is even better. I'm hooked on this stupid shit. I'm 3 episodes in, and you realize you root for the happy, but you also root for the disaster. Like there's one bro. I don't want to give anything away, but let's just say there's times where
I don't think Donnie Pompidou's tuning in anyway. Don't worry about it.
I think what happens is you realize you sort of want to see the vain guy not end up with let's say there was a vain dude.
I like the veiny dude.
Let's say there was a veiny dude spot. And let's say the vain dude is flirting and he has a connection with 2 girls.
Yeah.
And girl A is like hot party girl that he probably in real life would hang with. But girl B is like not the type of girl that would hang with like party bro. Watching him choose the wrong girl and then see each other face to face. And then I'm at the point of the show now where they get to meet all the people that were in the pods they didn't choose. And you're starting to see people like, oh, I would have absolutely chose you over that person. And it's awkward. It's funny. It's really, I think, a way better social experiment.
Love at first sight.
Spot, it's a way better social experiment than the other dating shows because you're seeing a guy, there'll be like a guy that's like, I'm on the show because I realized I put too much stock in physical appearance and it's made me a douchebag and I'm trying to love someone for the right reasons. Let's just say a guy like that has the ultimate emotional connection with someone that he talked for hours a day for weeks at a time and then meets her. If she's not hot, he's not going to feel it. Because you got to tell a vain guy all of a sudden he's not into good looking girls.
Relationships are a triangle. The perfect relationship triangle.
What's on your corners of the triangle?
There's 3
Spot?
sides of a relationship triangle. There's emotional.
Is this a fact or you make this up or you heard this in therapy or something?
It's like sociological.
Okay.
It's a school of thought. It's not necessarily 100%.
Okay. School of thought.
But there's 3 sides of the relationship triangle. There's the emotional, the intellectual, and the sexual. And based on if you have all 3, that's your relationship. But if you have 2 sides, let's say you have emotional and intellectual, you have a really good friend. If you have sexual and emotional, you have a lustful relationship. If you have sexual and intellectual but not emotional, then you have I don't know.
Like your friends with benefits.
Something
a friend with benefits they have good conversations with, but you're not connected.
Yeah, so the goal is to balance out all 3 as much as possible.
Do you have a sexual, emotional, and intellectual connection with Jordan?
That's why I think the show is doomed to fail.
Never thought of it.
Well, she's listening, I'm sure, at some point to this, but tonight on Valentine's Day, you could be like, Jordan, have you ever thought about how we have the triangle of love? What do you mean? Sexual, emotional, and intellectual.
The relationship triangle.
You need all 3. 2 will give you the results you don't want. Spot, I like that. Sexual, emotional, intellectual. You need to connect with your partner on all 3 of those at least a little bit. Otherwise, you're lacking something in your relationship.
Yes. So it's intimacy, passion, and that's the triangular theory of love. So I got a little off, but it's I guess it's an adaptation of what I
would go with what you said, Spot. Sexual, emotional, intellectual.
But it's so intimacy, passion, and commitment, and you either have romantic love, fatuous love. So that's like, like lust and obsession. And companionate, that's like a friend. So the idea is to have consummate love, which combines all three.
Did you watch last season, Covino? Love is Blind, season 1?
I think so.
Do you remember the scene where, you'll remember if I told you this, some like fucking cute looking sassy black girl chose this dude and they finally meet. So it's like, hey, we met each other. Oh, we're in love. Like,
he was like a John Krasinski type, right? Like tall white guy.
Oh no, that was like I'm talking. There was one black girl that ended up with a black dude.
Okay.
And again, they see each other for the first time, and it's really sort of nice when you could tell that, oh wow, they're attracted to each other. But then you can tell other times they're like, okay, let's see how this social experiment goes. The one dude, Zush reminded me on the feedback. The dude was like, hey, we talked in those pods for weeks, and we're engaged now. Like, I should also tell you, like, I'm bi, and I also hook up with dudes. And she lost her shit because she's like, yo.
She threw the ring into the water?
Yeah, she's like.
I remember that, yeah.
I mean, you got to be open-minded.
She was like, bye.
I mean, there's a level of being open-minded, but I mean, how many women would be okay if their dude out of nowhere is like, by the way, also bang dudes? Like, isn't that something you should have told me right out the gate? Like, come on. But of all the dumb shows, Covino, that we all watch, Love is Blind might be the best social experiment. I urge you to watch it. I feel like you'll get a kick out of it.
I'll get around to it for sure. That's
You'll
on
Netflix,
Netflix, right?
you'll get a kick out of it.
Well, you know what? Since I'm going to miss The Bachelor tonight because I'll be at dinner, I'll probably come back and watch some of that instead.
Where are you going again?
Going out to dinner. Why you gotta tell everybody where I gotta go?
Give me the genre. The genre.
So I could go and see one of our listeners there.
What do you think?
You really think someone's going to trick you?
Andrew
like,
Rivera is
you?
going to show up and say, what's up?
Yeah, people are weird, bro. Welcome to the
think you're
world.
that important.
I guess you're right.
It's not about being important. People are fucking weird.
You think
it's
if
not
you
about
said,
me being important
you
at
think
all.
if you said tonight I'm going to
Rich practically gives my address out on the radio and thinks it's okay. People are weird. People are weird. When are you going to realize that shit?
You guys want some buffalo chicken dip?
I do not.
I'm good on that. It has nothing to do with me thinking I'm important. I don't think I'm important at all. I just don't want to deal with weirdos.
People are weird. That's why
I have people that I talk to just on the radio music side. I think I'm talking to them.
That's
why
weirdos. Hot chicks like Sophia Beverly, like she's never where she actually says she is. She posts it like hours or a day later, so people aren't showing up to play with their titties.
And I'll need to tell criminals when I'm out, so I'm good.
Yeah, Covino's cooking tonight, everybody.
Criminals?
Yeah. How do you think they case joints? They see idiots are out. Like, yeah, man, they're in Bermuda. It means no one's at their house. Let's go.
That's the premise of Home Alone, isn't it?
Speaking of triangles, to Bermuda.
They knew the whole family was going to be in Paris. Remember Joe Pesci dressed up as a cop? He's like, so you guys are all going away, right? And maybe they're like, oh, yeah. That's how they case the joint spot.
So when I come home from dinner, then I'll watch some Love is Blind.
I promise you and Jordan will get a good laugh out of these ridiculous fucking people.
I mean, there's a lot of truth to it, but you can't cut out the fact that you need to like how someone looks.
Right.
Like, that's the face you're going to look at the rest of your life. Do you like their face?
Sarah and I
know it's going to change, but are you attracted to that person in that way?
I love my wife's face.
Yeah,
you gotta love the person's face.
And like when I want to strangle Jordan, and then I look at her butt, I'm like, okay, that's why I'm with you. You know, like you need the physical.
Right. Like imagine if like you fell in love and then like she turned around, she had no ass.
Yeah. Like, oh, she suffers from no acetol.
No acetol.
No acetol.
Terrible condition.
Yeah.
What would you do?
It's physical is important because it balances out those moments where you can't stand that person. Like, God, you're the worst. But you got beautiful green eyes. I'll let it pass at least for.
I have a question for you. Now,
you got jobs.
Back in the day, there was
matters.
Back in the day, buddy.
It shouldn't be the be all end all though, and that's the point.
There were reality shows where, correct me if I'm wrong, they were like forced to marry people. Where it'd be like, and you choose this person and you marry them. Remember, that was like the premise. It was like, for real? With how cavalier society has become, before you answer quickly, think about it for 1 second. If you were 24-year-old Covino and you were like on your radio come up, or, you know, what would it be now? You were trying to do influencer stuff, podcasting, whatever your path would have been if you were 20-something now.
Okay, 24 now.
You're 24 now.
Okay.
And you got a podcast people like, you're on the come up, you do some influencer stuff, you're just cut from a 20-year younger cloth than you are now.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, yo, dude, do you want to go on this reality dating show where you don't see the people and then you pick someone, knowing that at the end of the day, if you really wanted to bail and be like, yeah, I'm out. Like, you don't have to marry him. Would you go on it just to be like, yo, what a wild experience?
In a heartbeat.
Right?
And again, it's outside of my character, but I would have wanted to have been a part of it. Like back when I was 24, there was something called like Want to Be a VJ on MTV and all these stupid auditions I would do just to get a little taste of that fun. So if I was doing it at 24 then of course I'd be doing it at 24 now.
Yeah, I mean, just I mean, we can make fun of it
I
all you
tried out
want,
for
but
Who Wants to Be a VJ at least 3 times.
Oh yeah.
And that goddamn Jesse Camp one.
But I think
actually a girl I went there with won. Remember Laura Lifshitz?
Yeah, of course I do.
I went there with her from Montclair State University, and she won. The last year I did it. Yeah.
But Spot, I'm saying from the perspective
Are
of,
you sure you want her, not me?
everyone goes on Tinder dates and Bumble dates now, and everyone's very open to meet people in different ways. And back in the day, it was like, go on a reality show to meet someone. It was almost like a very weird, like, all right, well, you're the weirdo that's going to meet someone and marry him. But if you told the average 20-something-year-old now,
the dating game in the 70s.
Go on Love is Blind, and for 2 weeks, can you get off of work for a couple weeks? Sure, I'm 20-something and I'm an influencer and have no schedule. All right, so perfect. Sit in a place where they take away your phone, they take away everything, and you live in a pod for a couple weeks, and you talk to all these women that are looking for love. You don't see their faces. All you do is talk nonstop, so you're creating all these bonds. You're imagining like, oh, the girl Jessica I talked to, I hope she's hot. I choose you. Let's get married. And then there's a fucking big reveal. A door opens. If you see her and you're like, oh, gross. You could just be the guy that bails out of the show.
I would have definitely messed up the game.
Yeah,
though.
but in the
I'm not good at following instructions.
Now you're like, oh,
like your brother.
Rich bails on Tori on Love is Blind.
Like your
it's
brother,
all over the tabloids.
Your brother is even a little, he's not aged out of it yet, but your brother would be the perfect type of guy for something like this because your brother dates and he has fun. But like, imagine your brother's like, yo, like, I'm like a Jersey dude. I love bitches, and I'm a little vain, man. I'm a little vain. Like I'm just too worked up on looks. So I'm gonna be in the pod, and I'm gonna find love through emotions. Like your brother would be a riot on a stupid show like this. Looking for love, but like emotion.
And then he finds like, here's what would happen to my brother. I just really need love. I always strike out when it comes to life. I hit bombs, but I strike out when it comes to love. Right? And that's Tommy.
Yeah.
Right? Then he finds love. But the girl's kind of chubby and like not that hot.
Yeah.
But he loves her. And then he meets her. He's like, yeah, but I loved her, but she's like not hot. And then he becomes the villain.
She got like no ass at all.
Yeah. She's like, I was in love for like a minute, like her spirit, but like she's just not that hot.
She's a little too thick and like.
And they're like, you're the worst. He's like, what?
Yeah. And by the way,
he doesn't understand why the public thinks he's the worst guy ever.
Anyone that thinks
got no ass,
that thinks I'm giving away too much.
I need to go to the toilet.
Anyone that thinks I'm giving away too much, it's a pretty simple reality show to follow, but I don't want to give away too many of the plot lines, but I will say one thing that's funny. Like there was one guy in the show.
What are you doing?
There was one guy in the show that was a little put offish to the
No, I'll take the
What are you doing?
Divvying up
for
our
people,
socks.
for people that are not watching, Covino's divvying up the socks.
I don't know. I just said that. Like, why did he start doing that?
Yeah,
It doesn't
Fucking
matter,
talking.
man. Why does Rich gotta stop talking? Is he a pea brain?
I'll take
He can't
the-
continue?
Rich can have the Slytherin ones. I'll have the Gryffindor ones. Which ones did you get?
mean,
You got the Ravenclaw ones.
I think the blue ones.
So on this show, Love is Blind. One last note that
Love for Hufflepuff.
it's I don't even know what that means. What are you saying?
I'm going through the Harry Potter houses, and they're all in the color of Harry Potter.
The socks that someone gave us.
This is Gryffindor.
Okay.
The green ones are Slytherin. Covino has Ravenclaw. The only one missing is Hufflepuff, which would be yellow and black.
I wonder who would match with you in the pods. I love fantasy.
I'm a very complex individual. You just only scratched the surface.
I really love when he talks Harry Potter.
I think we're gonna be a matchmade in heaven.
Have you seen some of the hot bitches that cosplay in Harry Potter?
It really turns me on when he talks sexy about cooking Potter stuff.
I would talk to 75 cents.
There was there was a guy on the show that a lot of the women were turned off by. Get this, because he would say things like he was so not slick about trying to figure out if the girls are hot or not. He's like, yeah, like I love a girl that like I could, like prop up on my shoulders at a music festival. Like, do you think like I'd be able to like prop you up on my
I was
shoulders?
trying to figure out if she's overweight.
Yes, and the girls are like way onto this guy. You gotta. I'm just telling you.
I've done
you'll
it
think
in a
it's so
pool
dumb.
before. Like in a pool. Like I've been on someone's shoulders.
Like, no, but is there like a big splash when you jump in, or like when you do like belly flops?
I gotta imagine like
big splash, little splash.
Let me
what's
tell you,
your,
my belly certainly flops.
like what's your day to day like how do you prioritize like fitness and like I don't know like man like you like snacking late at night like this guy was
Fitness. I love these cupcakes in my mouth.
So it's Netflix.
Yeah, you'll enjoy it because it's so dumb. If you like anything, I promise you, if you're not even if you're not even into the dumb reality stuff, this is just funny on a different level, and it's just a great social experiment. That's all. That's it.
I'm a great significant other.
People get to a certain age, and if you're too picky, does that person just end up alone?
Yeah, unless you got money,
right?
Unless you got something to offer, for sure.
I think about that. I see certain people, and you're like, yeah, they're like 40, 50 something. They're still alone. Like, nothing wrong with that, but I guess it means that they were so too picky all along, or they just never connected.
Not relationship people. I don't think everybody's made for relationships.
Don't conform to societal norms.
Yeah, the same way not everyone's meant to have kids and be parents. I don't think everybody's meant to be in a long-term relationship.
Let me tell you.
Forever.
Let me tell you. It's such a weird eye-opener for me, more than anyone out here in Los Angeles. I got so much joy out of your sister being here yesterday. So Covino's sister and Chris and hey guys, and their two cute kids, baby James and Gwenny, came over. And it was fun to watch the kids playing together.
By the way, I'm sorry. Jordan said if she was on Love is Blind, they would assume she was like an overweight nerd based on, I like donuts and cookies and playing video games. Guy would be like, yeah, I'm good on that.
So, like, if we were to go to a pool party and there were like chicken fights, would we win because you'd be very nimble on my shoulders?
I really don't like the sand. So sand like bothers my skin.
In fact,
and
I don't like going to the beach.
And I'm like, I get sunburned easy, so I don't really like the beach.
Oh.
But I love donuts, candy, and
gaming.
I got the new Pokemon for my Nintendo Switch. I play that a lot. I crush a lot of candy too, so thank you.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good on her. Yeah.
I can't wait for you guys to watch this season.
Good.
I promise you, Jordan's gonna have more laughs. Sarah and I had more laughs out of
She
this.
would definitely get the pass from me. I'd be like, yeah, all right, good.
Maybe because we were buzzing or high or something, but we were laughing so much at
Probably
some
because
of
you're on edibles. I'd have to say
how
that adds to
cheesy
it.
and funny some of these guys are, and they're so good. All right,
So anyway, my sister was here last night
Yeah.
with her kids.
and watching your niece run around with Emmy and Ben.
Yeah.
Funny as hell. It was great to see the kids around. And when you talk about how not everyone's going to get married, not everyone finds someone, it's pretty wild to think so many of our friends here in LA, no one's got kids. We have all these adult friends. And I don't know if it's a generational thing. I don't know if it's an LA thing. I don't know what it is, but it's pretty wild to think that I'm the only one in our circle of friends that has like little kids. You have a daughter that your wife has, during the week and stuff like that. Most of the time she lives with mom.
I mean,
But
I
I'm
have her as much as I possibly can have her. I have this thing called the JOB.
Oh, yeah. No,
So we
I'm
have 50-50 legal custody. And
I'm saying she lives with,
she's also, it's back and forth. Yeah. So JOB means I can't have her during the day, but I have her Monday, Tuesday, Friday, and every other weekend.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying like she lives with. You're not dealing with the day to day
Jiggly old balls.
I do.
Job,
Jiggly old balls.
I got jiggly old balls.
Okay.
So who knows if I can have another one? No, but it paints a picture that she's not with me a lot. She's with me a lot, bro. Like a lot. Monday, Tuesday, Friday, and every other weekend from Friday through Monday.
No, I get you.
So
I'm
it's
just
as
saying,
close to 50-50 as I could get, but I have a JOB.
I think my point just is, depending on where you live, based on the economy, how much money people are making, the lifestyle of people, it never dawned on you that all our friends that are grown-ups, like no one has kids?
It's a different world, man. It is. Kadeem Hardison style. Not everybody's meant to have them, and I think
I know. I
think that
I don't know. I don't
you
know
how
if it's I don't know if it's
our parents'
LA
generation was forced to grow up
differently, maybe, or faster.
Grow up faster. I think that a lot of the people we grew up with really held on to their youth and were either came to terms with I don't want to be a parent, that's fine, or just never wanted to grow up that way. Like they just didn't want to grow up. And I probably would have been one of those people hadn't I been thrown into this crazy life of mine. I mean, you could say I chose it, but it sort of chose me.
Yeah. No, I mean,
you would have absolutely been a parent.
I don't know. I don't know. I would have wanted to
such
have
a
kids.
family guy. You would have absolutely had kids regardless.
Fear holds people back.
Fear control. Like if Layla didn't get pregnant, do you think he would have? Covino's the type that sometimes if something doesn't happen,
it's very possible that fear would have held me back. I would have wanted children, but fear would have maybe stifled my growth.
Covino,
maybe. I don't know.
But I just think of like, all right, let's say Spot, our radio, we have that text message group of like all our old school radio people. Mm-hmm. Let's say there's
for that reason, I'm very thankful for my last relationship.
Let's say of the 8 guys on that radio text message thread, we're talking like 8 guys that are successful in radio, probably average age 40.
Only 2 of them, or 3 of them have kids.
Me, Nico, and Matt Iani has kids.
Okay, 4 of you have kids because Scotty B's also on.
Scotty B's on that thread, but I'm saying like
so there's
all
like 12
the other
people, but there's like 12.
Yeah, there's like
so
12
I'd argue
people on
a
this,
third of people on that thread have kids.
Yeah,
the rest don't.
And I just feel like
when I had Melody, I also felt like I was the only kid with a kid. I felt like a kid.
Well, in our circle, because you're older, and it was a while ago.
Yeah, no, I just in a circle of friends, I think people also have said, you know what? I could live a pretty sweet life if I don't have kids. And I think more people are saying like, oh, that's a legitimate option that maybe past generations forced them to be like, when are you going to have kids? When are you going to have
we
kids?
We also live in the most self-centered generation of all time. And people don't want to give that up. Think about it. Think how everyone thinks their life is the best. They're a superstar. Their opinion is the greatest. They want to post about it on social media. Everyone's a legend in their own mind now. And they don't want to give up that independence. So,
but just
compare. A kid is just a distraction and sort of a setback at that point.
Oh, yeah.
For a lot of people. So I think we do live in a generation now where it's not the standard or the norm to want to have kids right after marriage or to even get married for that matter.
Yeah. I think of most of our friends.
I guess when you take it back, our parents maybe had like one friend that didn't have kids.
They were the weird guy.
I think that honestly, that sort of sums up my point way better than my whole rambling, to be honest. When we were kids, your parents had one single friend with no kids, but everyone else.
And you as a kid thought he was like stupid or something.
Is he stupid? He was one of 3 things. It was like, is he secretly gay? Is he like such a playboy?
Yeah.
Or is he like weirdo?
Yeah. Now in any circle, like, a lot of the people don't have kids.
Yeah. Well, hey, it's no knock on it. I'm just saying
it's of that though. My sister.
I'm saying when your sister came here with her 2 kids, there was like a sense of like, like Grace, you should please come here every time because I feel like we have all these hangs and
it
it's
was
like
fun to see them running around though.
No, because
those were the best moments.
Again, Melody's never been to my house, right? I mean,
not the new one. No.
Yeah, but I'm saying, for instance, you are an active dad with her, but you're not taking her places for social things like that. So Melody's never been around. My buddy Zach.
By the way, I hate when you paint these pictures because they're inaccurate. Not because I don't want to, because she has another household and they have different rules and it's a fucking weird scenario.
You said because you didn't want to.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm not taking her to Rich's house. Fuck that place. It's not the case. It's just I'm not going to ask her mom permission. Hey, can I bring her to a mixed company with all these people? God forbid she gets sick. Then I'm the jerk off that brought COVID into their household. Yeah. So I just play it safe.
Yeah.
Which is eye-rolling and annoying. I get it. But it's not because I don't take my kid to social events.
You're avoiding a future headache.
Yeah, exactly.
Your explanation is totally fair, but that doesn't.
You paint it as such a broad thing. Like I just don't take her out in public. Like she's a hermit. You know what I mean? Like that's not the case.
But your explanation is totally the right answer. I'm just saying
it's just necessary.
I'm just saying from the perspective. I'm just giving the perspective of when we have hangouts anytime ever. Mm-hmm. Melody has never been there.
2 years ago, yesterday, she was at your apartment for the Super Bowl. The pandemic changed a lot of things.
3 years ago, probably.
3 years
Yeah,
ago,
maybe 3 or 4 years
Zach
ago.
said it was whatever Zach said he met Jordan and Melody that night. So whenever...
Yeah, so that was, but I'm saying like every
Was it 2
single,
years
it is wild to think that every single person in our circle of friends
because
does
we
not have a kid.
were in Miami for 2 years ago.
So 3
Yeah,
years ago.
3 years ago, maybe.
3 years ago, I think.
Yeah,
In the last 2 years, is
When Rich was crying.
I was crying about Tom Brady.
Remember that?
That was 4 years ago.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Man, time's flying.
Yeah, no, it was 3. It was when he beat the Rams spot.
Yeah.
Well, you got to keep in mind, my kid's also 12 going on 14. She's sort of out of that little kid run around sort of mindset. She's, totally, she's past that. Long past that. Emmy's 4. My nephew James is 6. My niece Gwen is 2. Right? Kids they're going to all at different stages of life. But it was fun seeing them run around.
No, it definitely was. But it was just a great weekend. Super Bowl, the halftime show, what few commercials. Love is Blind is a dumb new show. I'm telling you, you'll all love. And being that it's Valentine's Day, Lover's Day, we had a friend in need that maybe we could touch on real quick, if that's cool. And it has to do with the differences of what happens at different stages of a relationship. Before we get to that, I do want to say what's up and happy 10th birthday to Evan. That's Bree's son.
What?
I don't know how Bree lets him listen to this, but apparently he listens and loves us, so this will mean a lot to him. So, yo, Evan, 10 years old.
Evan Almighty.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Your mother is a lovely woman, and we enjoy her company.
And
What's up,
we will
see you.
We'll see you at your mom and stepdad Wes's wedding. Ain't that right, stepdad Wes? So,
I'm excited for that.
happy 10th to Evan. Now, this friend in need, I think you're going to have all the obvious answers, but if you've never done it before, it's like anything. Until you do it, you're just guessing or you're listening to what other people say, right? Some guy hit us up. We'll call him Darnell. Darnell in Cincinnati. Darnell in Cincinnati.
Big Bengals fan.
Big Bengals fan. He's really depressed today.
Really sad today.
He did the icky shuffle all the way home, crying. So Darnell in Cincinnati, Covino, wanted to know if he moves in with his girlfriend, who he's been dating between 6 months and a year. Let me find the exact thing so I know what I'm talking about.
It's a good window.
I have the notes right here. Here we go.
A year more than 6 months, but yeah.
He's been dating her 8 months,
Perfect
and their
time.
lease is coming to an end.
Oh.
His lease is coming to an end, so he's doing that whole should we move in together? My lease is up on my place. We're staying with each other here and there. Should we move in? And he said, can you guys just throw it out there? Is there something I'm not realizing? What changes when you move in with your girlfriend or boyfriend?
Your bodily functions.
Let me know what you guys could come up with. I really appreciate it. Been listening for a good 10 years. Love you guys on Patreon. So yeah, we'll call him Darnell, and since he wants to know, lease is up. Trying to decide, do I move in with the girlfriend? And if I do, what changes when you move in with someone? What changes?
Your dependency on that person, because you establish roles. So, living with Jordan, she thinks, and you guys are probably going to agree, but that I wouldn't eat. Like I would sit there and never go shopping. When in fact,
Yeah, I feel
of
that
course, yeah, you're right. I would sit there.
You would sit there, you would
and
have a
never
protein
any-
bar
you're
every
right, I
meal.
would have nothing to eat ever in my life. When in fact, if someone else wasn't pulling that weight and covering that part of the relationship, you're forced to do that job, right? So you become codependent and you establish roles. Things that you used to do, you might really not do anymore because someone else has pulled that weight. Like it could be something silly. Like, yeah, I always emptied the garbage in the bathrooms. I don't do that anymore. She always does it. Little things like that. You become codependent. Oh man, I always used to buy all the toiletries and everything, and now they're just there.
Yeah, honestly, something like toothpaste brand might change.
That might change.
And at first you're like,
you have to find a compromise on those things.
What did you buy? What is this? Winterfresh Crest? I've been using I don't know, some weird baking soda toothpaste for years that Spa uses.
These are little things.
Do
that
you
you
use
would never
baking soda
think of.
toothpaste? Like Arm & Hammer or some shit?
I use Arm & Hammer.
Oh, you do? Yeah, I knew one of you guys
I
did.
use,
Why is that weird?
Crest Pro Health.
It's great for your teeth. I'm saying it
I love
doesn't have a good minty taste to me.
Yeah,
It tastes
I
weird.
love
the taste
Crest
of it.
Pro Health.
So, yeah, it might be something as
My
simple
favorite
as
tasting toothpaste.
it might be something as simple as, yeah, like the more you live together, little things start to pop up where it's like, oh, I guess we use Gildan spicy mustard now. I was buying the generic one. I
always kept my
my
ketchup out. Now she keeps it in the fridge. I
Yeah,
don't know. Like there's little things
those,
like that.
yeah, those are the
that
dumb
you
little
have to get
things.
used to.
My clothes smell like a different fabric softener she uses that when I was doing my own laundry, I didn't use. Like
But then
little
there's,
dumb
There's
things.
always accountability, right? You can't
She
just
loads the
roll in
dishwasher
and
like
leave
shit.
like you used to. Not that you have to ask permission to do as you please, but it's the courtesies that you have to keep in mind. If you're, rolling in at 3 a.m., yeah, it's a little odd to not run
that's
it by
another
somebody.
thing. Sleep schedules.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sleep
You,
schedules.
you realize that,
you live with somebody. There's a respect involved.
yeah, like she gets up early. If you're not an early riser, that's going to really ruin your
You
day.
can't waste paper towels the way you used to. You have to do annoying shit like recycle all the time. Because
The way in which they do their laundry also.
Yeah, I said that. Your laundry, Sarah and I still, all these years later.
it's just a codependency that you guys you formulate a system.
right. We have laundry discrepancies. Like in my mind, I want to separate our laundry at all times. She puts everything in one big hamper.
Does she make the bed?
She does. No. If it's
But
not,
I'm not saying you. I'm not
but
saying you.
like,
I'm
yeah,
saying
it's little things that
Those are the little things.
those little things that
The
you'll.
big things are like, hey, I'm leaving. I'll be back later. Running things by. It's just so you're all on the same page all the time.
It's
does she leave her crusty, dirty containers from her lunch lunch?
Does she leave her Tupperwares in the sink?
In the sink dirty, or does she put a little water in them to kind of rinse them out?
Do you have to pluralize Tupperwares?
I guess not.
It's funny you should say that.
It's like underwears.
I saw a clip of
There you go.
comedian Nick DiStefano. He does a podcast with one of the Impractical Jokers. And you don't need to find it, Spot, but it was one of those revelations where he kept saying Tupperware.
Tupperware?
Yeah, just like this up. So if you can find it, Nick DiStefano Tupperware. It's definitely on TikTok, but they were like, oh, I'm sorry, say that again. He's like, Tupperware. And his whole life he thought it was Tupperware because it was like a tub. And he's like, no, it's Tupperware with a P. And I wonder how many people thought it was Tupperware. But yeah, what changes when you move in with someone? I'll tell you what else changes. Your gross guy habits. You try to minimize them, like hand down your pants, farting, picking your nose, burping. Like the things where you realize that in the beginning, you're a little more on guard to your gross habits. Someone else hit us up with the bathroom fan. That becomes more of a friend of yours because, yeah, you don't want to be like, hey.
I got one. I know what changes.
What changes?
This is significant. And there's pros and cons to it. And it's very indicative of how that relationship works. The decor of the apartment or the house.
Yeah.
Right? I think in a normal, and I use normal lightly, but in a normal relationship, there's a compromise. Like, hey, we agree. We like light wood. We're going to go with the light wood sort of vibe in this house. And white walls, like yours.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, we agreed on that.
Light wood.
So again, when I lived with Layla, I had a particular style. When I live with Jordan, I have another style, right? But I have other friends. Like I have a buddy who lives a family life, but it looks like his wife has no say on the decor. Like he has
It's like dude shit everywhere.
Yeah, it's
like a
all
hanging
dude shit.
fish on the wall.
Black leather couches, fucking swords on his, hanging, a battle axe hanging over the fireplace. It looks like a guy designed a dungeon for the family to live on.
And they just happen to live with
the wife is
dad
just
in
like,
his
yeah,
dungeon.
I guess, he's just the interior decorator, I guess, because he has all the say, which is kind of cool. But you lose that touch of you lose that woman's touch. So there's got to be a little bit of a compromise, I think. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
And then there's women that won't let you mount your TV, and that becomes a real sticky issue.
Hey, Spot, did you find that clip I was telling you about?
I did.
Yeah, did you know? Yeah, I mean, you knew, obviously.
I think this is it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tupperware?
Yeah, have you seen
So
this?
you're saying my whole life, I have a clinical doctorate degree in physical therapy.
Yeah.
I've been walking up to people
Yeah.
and saying, do you have Tupperware?
Tupperware.
Or can I take that home in some Tupperware?
Yeah, Tupper. Yeah, like flubber. It's Tupper.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
Tupper.
Now, how many instances have you been in your life where you've said Tupperware to someone, walked away, and they either had a laugh privately or with a loved one on your expense? Were they like, did you catch that? Did he say tub?
What?
Are you mortified or can you shake it off?
I feel like, well, thank God I got whiskey. That's what it is, right?
Yeah, this right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a Shirley Temple spike.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, my mother is the one who should really be embarrassed because she's the one.
Get her on the phone.
See, you can turn it on. Yeah, but they go on a whole thing about how when they first catch it, he's like, did you say Tupperware? Tupperware.
Some people are so unaware.
So what else changes?
Unawares.
Back to what else changes? Decor. What
How
else
you
changes
decorate.
when you move in with a woman? I'll give you one.
You know, you didn't care about fluffy pillows. Now you do.
Yeah, I think as you get older.
Unless you live with a very subservient, like submissive woman that says, I'll live the way you live. And that, I'm not saying it can't work that way. I'm just saying there should be a bit more of a compromise.
You realize if your levels of compatibility of like what you both consider neat and clean, like you might say, before I go to bed every night, I need to fluff the pillows in the living room. And you might marry someone or date someone or live with someone that they could turn off the TV, leave that bowl of popcorn and the blanket just thrown on the couch and, I'm going to bed. It's like,
yeah, I hate that. Jordan's, I leave the pillows and blanket on the couch the way I left it.
And you're like,
and I'm like,
how
fold
can
it? Like, can you fold the blanket? I've
the
learned to like not care so much.
That's why you have to have someone that compliments you. Like Kristen folds everything and flips the couch cushions and folds my laundry.
But I said you establish roles because then it turns into, well, I guess I got to do that now.
And I provide the meat.
Now, here's the let's be honest, the sexual part of it, right? When you date someone and you're not living with them, every time you see that person, there is a assumed vibe of we are potentially going to have sex. Because if you're dating someone, it's like, yo, what are you doing this week? Why don't we get dinner on like Wednesday and then Friday after work, we could do happy hour and then we could go to your place. Like every time you see someone when you're dating, you're making a plan because
that's why you used to travel with your fanny pack of smut.
Yeah, of course. But when you dated someone,
Rich had all his oils and all his like weird whips and stuff.
Before in a bag. And
in a bag.
Yeah. In my
whips?
In my, what do you call it? My knack bag.
Little nipple tassels. He'd have them already on standby.
So when you're dating someone and you don't live with them, every time you see them, there's an assumption of sex. All right, so let's, why don't we meet up for drinks after work on Wednesday? You're assuming, all right, we're going to get drinks. We'll have some laughs. We're dating. We'll probably go out to dinner. And then afterwards, we'll either go to her apartment or my apartment. And there's a good chance it'll lead to something physical. Which brings me to point 2 of this. When you're dating someone and it's really just you guys dating, no living together, no engagement, no marriage, you guys are both very on point with like, all right, I'm freshly showered. My balls are shaved. All right, she shaved her leg. She's all waxed and groomed and everything. You start realizing, and then, and another thing is, a lot of times when you're dating someone, you only see her in her after work makeup and done up, or if she's meeting you for a date, she's gonna get done up. You may not have seen the majority of what she looks like. Like, hey, she lays around in sweats with no makeup on. You're going to get a lot more of that. So there's a glamour involved in dating. The minute you live together, that glamour is gone. It might extend to her farting in front of you and no makeup and sweatpants, which I'm not saying there's a problem with, but if you're asking what the changes are if you're dating Jessica and you see her 2 or 3 times a week, every time you see her, she's put together, her body is shaved, and she's ready to do you. You live with her, all that shit's different.
So you're not doing the bang, bang, bang as much.
I think the bigger transition, when people say, what do you think?
I just want to bang, bang, bang.
And you ask me,
not doing it as much. You know my biggest change? When I live by myself and I leave a mean steamy, like a skitter in the toilet spot, I would look at it proudly and just walk away. Now I try to cover it up with like a piece of toilet paper.
You would leave it?
Yeah. Now I try to cover it up, out of courtesy for the next person that might want to use the bathroom.
No, you got to wipe your skitter away.
Wipe it away with what?
Toilet paper.
You have a chamois for that?
No, like toilet paper.
You dip your hand in the water?
Yeah, a little bit. If I need to.
I'm okay with if I'm not living with anybody,
Well, I mean, if it's,
why would I have to do that?
If a lot of time, it might not be in the water
Okay,
part of the toilet.
but
you
if
get a
you're
chunk
not
of toilet,
living with
wrap up
anybody-
a chunk of toilet paper and do a little.
For who? If you're not living with anybody,
So you don't have shit remnants.
I'm okay with that. It's a toilet, right?
You'd want shit
but
remnants?
if I live with somebody, I'm gonna have to do a little. And, and I'll throw. I cover it up like a little blanket. I just go. I hide it. You don't see these are the things you don't think about.
But no, truthfully, it's the biggest change. People don't want to admit it because it's putting a lot of pressure on the situation. But I think living with someone is the easy argument. Covino would be like, well, financially, I'm not talking finances. Because, of course, if you get divorced, it's going to destroy you financially. I'm talking about biggest real change. And I think there's a way bigger change when you move in with someone than when you marry someone. The change of dating to living together is a way bigger change than dating to marriage. Dating to marriage, you're just on paper, dedicating yourself to a permanent commitment. The bigger change to me is when you go from dating someone to living with someone. Because dating someone to living with someone, you get to see how they really are in their natural habitat. Because when you're dating someone, before you live with them, you're right. And you see them every time you see them, their nails are done, they're coming from work, their makeup's on. They're, like I told you, they're groomed, they're ready to have sex because they're dating. They're on their A game.
Yeah, Jordan didn't realize how much lamping I do till we live together. By the way, Boston Sal, I'm gross. Rich is sticking his hand in toilet water.
Well,
right after he dropped the deuce. I'm the gross one.
I mean, I'm saying if you want,
I
you get the
just
paper
cover it
towel.
up.
You try not to submerge your hand, but I'm saying
Voila.
if you see a little skid mark, you're crumpling up a big wad of paper and you're doing a little.
Submerge my hand into toilet water.
I wasn't saying I'm going.
No, that's what you said. But this guy says I'm the gross one. Clean your
I'm
ears
just
out.
saying, bro.
Boston Sal, you numbskull. I'm the gross one. This guy's taking deep dives in the toilet like Jacques Cousteau. Jacques Cousteau over here. Jacques Cousteau.
Jacques Cousteau.
And I'm the gross one. I let it be. I leave well enough alone.
Well, there's your answer in a nutshell. More changes moving in than I think marriage. I think that's the number one answer on the board because then you start, you know what you start doing? Start smelling morning breath. You start seeing each other not at your best. When you see her, you know what you do? You put on your fresh new shoes, your shirt you picked out, your hair's all done up and you got your beard trimmed perfectly. You live with someone, they see you scratching your fucking balls with, zit on your head. Life changes when you live with someone.
You get the reality.
Yeah, you get the
longer
real
the
person.
fantasy.
I think it's wild to think that. I think it's wild to think that there's people that in today's day and age, knowing how dating is and knowing the before and after, the fact that there's people that don't live together until they're married. I'm like, that's a risk, Carnal. No.
Yeah, no
Imagine
way.
if you never
I would
lived with
never take
Jordan,
that risk,
and
no.
you were like that. Then you decide, let's get married.
No way. Can never do that. In
Spot,
today's
you leave
world,
skid
no
marks,
way.
or do you wash them away?
Oh, I definitely leave them.
You would leave a skid mark,
And he leaves him, and he lives with his wife.
You would leave them, and you like
Be a
Kristen
man.
would see
Well,
like
sometimes
Leave
they're
your
really
skid marks. Be a man.
sometimes they're really aggressive, so it's like hard to get rid of them.
yeah.
Like, what do you mean?
Like I like to let them soak.
You don't even do a double flush, just
But
to,
you don't even.
Oh,
leave
I do
the-
sometimes I do a triple flush.
But you
and
don't
it's
leave
still
the
there.
crumple of like you're hiding it with the toilet paper. That's what I do. You don't even hide it, huh? That's a real man. Right
you
there.
live with someone. Preston hit us up with the best answer.
Totally
It's
ate a piece of
simple.
Stromboli when I was out there.
You live with someone. Bottom line, all is exposed. The end.
That's it. Honestly, great way to sum it up.
Yeah, all is exposed. Their bad habits, their nastiness, their morning breath, their stubbly legs, their gross man toenail, your everything. Your
You know
dank
what you
smell
have to
after
do? You
the
know what changed
gym.
for
Like,
me?
yeah.
I lived by this rule of, again, remember, I lived pretty much by myself for a long time. So you establish bad habits, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, I lived with my parents for a long time, but then I lived by myself for a long time. And I come from the school of, if it's in my cabinets or in my fridge, I could eat that shit. But now you have to have like a respect for like,
Why?
Because it's not really like it was bought for them. Like there's specific things that Jordan buys that are not for me, but I still want to eat it, and then sometimes I do and it becomes an issue. It's like, where's my drink? I'm like, what drink? The one that was in the fridge? I drank it.
It was a drink and it was in the fridge.
It was for me.
Waiting to be drinking.
You're like, but it's in the fridge.
My electricity that kept it cold.
Yeah, I just was doing my job of drinking it. It's a drink. I drank it. But that drink was for me. So there is times, you got to be respectful about like, oh, yeah, I finished that.
Hey, remind everyone for a second. When did you and Jordan move in together?
3 years ago.
But do you remember like the conversation? Like maybe who brought it up?
No, I was it was a great time in my life. I was living with my sister. So I lived with my sister for a year and Jordan was, sweet enough to sort of like be part of that scene and deal with it. Sold her on my dreams, I guess.
Well, she liked you. I mean,
yeah, so I was living with my sister and I had no choice but to move out and she was living with her aunt and she was trying to get, so it was just a timing thing. So I was like, yeah, I'm getting out of this place.
But do you remember like your first
together
your first night together in the new place? Like, oh, this is
By the way,
my life now.
Respond to some comments. I have a toilet brush. I just don't want it to get like shit all over it.
Yeah, it's to clean the toilet, not to
clean the toilet, not to like have it like brown. I don't want to turn it brown.
With it too. Yeah, you and your poop knives, you monsters out there with your poop knives.
I'm squirting, what's that? The toilet bowl cleaner around the inside of the
Comet.
rim. No, it's like that little
little weird hook thing.
Little weird hook thing. Unless I'm doing that, I'm not using the brush to get rid of shit stains. I'm cleaning. I gotta clean the toilet.
It's just gross.
You need bleach.
Oh, the brush isn't for your ass.
It's weird that everybody shares that same brush for their ass.
Yeah.
So anyway, things change when you live with somebody, and it's all about respecting the other person. Mm-hmm. Not everyone rolls the same way you roll. You
should see me roll a Stromboli.
Behind the velvet rope.
And there's different priorities. People prioritize things in a much different way. And you, especially the longer you've lived by yourself and you have all your weird OCD ways, someone else comes along and they're like, yeah, I don't care about your little shoe rack, Jordan. I'll kick my shoes off wherever I want. I'm like, yeah, but we bought this rack. Shoes go on that rack.
It's called a shoe rack.
But when I come in, it's like 2 seconds. I take my shoes off. They go on the rack. Some women are like, yeah, I don't play by those rules. Flip, flop, wherever they land, they stay. And you got to get used to it. That's it.
Yeah.
People roll different.
Well, on that note,
and both of those annoyances work both ways, believe you me.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure there's...
Yeah, that goes both ways.
Spot, is my wife even here or no?
She's not. There's no one out there.
No, there's no one. I was going to say, someone asked if Sarah could think of what changed the most about me when we moved in together. Because we were long distance. So we went from long distance to living together, which is, you're sort of diving in head first. Yeah. Greg Louganis style.
Jacques Cousteau.
I would love to know.
Fucking deep sea diving into the toilet.
Because I feel like Sarah probably enjoys alone time, enjoys relaxing, probably likes to sleep in. And you're just constant energy.
Yeah,
so I imagine that I feel like that's it. I imagine dealing with the constant energy around her.
I think once you have
a lot.
Once you have little kids, you almost forget what you did before the kids together, because it's like there are times where I'm like, yeah, what was how do we operate on a day to day where we weren't just
you just coexist.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of coexisting.
That's how I feel like Kristen and I just coexist a lot.
Just there.
I'm on one end of the couch. It's honestly, we couldn't be farther from each other when we're watching television. It's like I'm on one end, she's on the other. She's usually on her phone, sitting in her robe, naked. I'm sitting in my underwear. We're just there. We coexist. She'll get up, get a snack.
Well,
I'll go take a shit and smear the toilet.
Leave it like a man.
Leave it like a man.
Leave it like a man. All right. Well,
let it soak. You let it soak. It's it's letting your toilet soak is like letting a dish soak in the sink. You let the water do its job, and then you flush it.
Oh, fair. All right. What do you got planned for tonight before we say farewell? We'll see everyone tomorrow. You gonna watch Love Is Blind since there's no Bachelor?
I got to pick Melody up from school.
Oh.
I got to hang out with her till about 6-ish.
I have a question.
I got her some stuff for Valentine's Day, Papa.
What does Valentine thing still go on for her, or is that done?
Yeah.
Like, give them to classmates?
The kid never stops being your
I can't
kid.
remember.
She may stop being a kid, but she's still your kid, right?
Eventually, you stop that, right?
I mean, a little something nice.
Because once you move out of a singular class, then you're not really like.
He's saying, does she have to give kids at school something?
Oh, yeah. No, they don't do that anymore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my daughter, last
But
night,
I'm
Sarah,
sure she'll have some stories.
Well,
boys and girls are probably giving her Valentine's.
the whole time we
and
were
then
on
all these weird names. I'm like, is that a boy or a girl?
Juniper. What is that?
Yeah,
there was a,
Juniper.
I got a Valentine from. Is that a boy or a girl?
Xenu. Dad.
That's how it works in LA.
Sarah last night while we were doing Fox Sports Radio, even after we were done, Sarah was reminded that, oh shit, I gotta run to Walmart. I'm like, why you gotta run to Walmart? She was up late last night putting together. She had to do like 32 of them for Emmy and Ben's classes. Like, you know, they're like you have to bring every kid something.
Right. Can't leave them.
So she had to make like 32 little goodie bags. And I'm like, I'm sure that's what you wanted to do after we had our Super Bowl party and it was late and the kids were finally sleeping. Put together 32 little goodie bags for kids. But hey, every parent does it.
Hey, it's the mom life. You guys signed up for it.
You get cards that say "They loves you."
It ain't easy. Yeah. They love.
They love you.
They love you.
What do you mean?
So picking her up, I'll probably do a little like, hey, you want to get ice cream? I don't know. What do you want to? Are you in a good mood? You had a good day?
Did we?
But give her little chocolates and her stuff, and then drive her home around 6:00, 6:30, and then Jordan and I get some dinner later tonight. So I'll miss The Bachelor, unfortunately.
Well,
but I'll watch Love Is Blind.
Watch Love Is Blind.
So that's my plan.
Yo,
love is in the air, bro.
One last thought before we get out of here. I think I don't even know if we said this in the air ever, but you and I off the air were saying how when you take your kid for ice cream, are little kids the ones keeping bubblegum flavor ice cream in business?
And cotton candy ice cream.
And cotton candy,
it's good though, because it's like Melody still chooses cotton candy. So like it's her only semblance
of innocence of
kids still.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, you still got cotton candy going on?
Yeah. Every time I take Emmy after school, like once a week, she'll be like ice cream day. I'm like, yeah, let's get a one scoop of Baskin Robbins. And it's always cotton candy or bubble gum. And I'm like, yo.
Yeah, what adult?
Like, what adult? Imagine
if you
that.
saw an adult order, like,
I'll take bubble gum flavor.
You have to say.
Even if you were on a date and the girl was, even if the girl was like, yeah, bubble gum, please. Can I get 2 scoops of bubble gum? You mean the pink, like the shitty pink ice cream with little chunks of gum? Like, I'm telling you, it's completely children keeping that flavor in business. Bubble.
I agree. So maybe do something like that. Yeah, it's a school day, right? So not a whole lot going on. I got her some red Chucks.
That's sweet.
For Valentine's Day.
Look at that.
And some chocolates. And
should have given them so she could wear them on Valentine's Day.
I thought about it, but then I have nothing to give her today. You know what I mean? I
say,
thought about it.
Here's your Valentine's present.
Red Chucks.
Wear them on Valentine's.
Wear them on Valentine's.
I chose to give them today. And, nice little dinner. So we wish you a nice night of love, a nice Monday. Enjoy your Bachelor. Enjoy your Love Is Blind. Whatever you're doing, catching up on Pam and Tommy. Whatever you're doing tonight, enjoy it. And 2 more things.
Be romantic. Today, wipe the shit stains out of the door.
Okay, there you go.
There you go.
Keep the
Be
romance
romantic.
alive.
Keep the romance alive. Light a candle to hide the smell of your shit, and use the brush to get rid of the stains.
3 more things. Knackbags.com. Support the people that support us. It's the way to keep the show going. If you're into high quality bags, that's the way to go. If you're like a JanSport kind of guy, then that's not your bag. Knackbags.com, code CRSHOW, CRSHOW. Step your game up. It's a great gift.
Yeah. No one wants to see you carrying around a free Bud Light drawstring bag.
Yeah. If drawstring backpack is your thing, not for you. Beyond the Bench, we were on a podcast. Again, this is a small podcast, but Rich and I talked about things we hadn't really addressed. So interesting. Fast forward 37 minutes in, that's when we start. Beyond the Bench podcast, we tweeted it out. Enjoy the interview. It's another hour and 15 of Rich and I and our career, our history, and where we're going. Okay? Beyond the Bench, shout out. And foxsportsradio.com. We did a hell of a show yesterday, and it was fresh right after the game, so we were still processing everything we had just witnessed.
Yeah.
So if you missed it last night because we were on late and we were a little tipsy, we were having fun, catch us on foxsportsradio.com. Again, we tweeted out the links. They're on our Instagram. Everything is at Covino and Rich. And while you're there, shop.covinoandrich.com. Buy yourself a cool little, how do you do?
Little mug, little pint glass, little everything.
To take a little piece home. So, again, it's not about the money. We're not buying a boat with the stuff we're making. It's just about giving back and hoping you feel like you're a part of it because you are. So thank you guys. Happy Valentine's Day to you.
Until tomorrow, arrivederci, baby.
See you in the promised land. Peace out.
Goodbye.